because that was the day that my daddy died. That's a song. I think it was the 3rd of, it's either the 3rd of September. It's Papa Was a Rolling Stone. You know that song?
Bob Dylan?
No. That's Like a Rolling Stone.
That's Like a Rolling Stone.
Papa was the Temptations. He goes, it was the 3rd of September. You don't know that one?
I know Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
That's
I
different.
don't think I know this one.
All right. My daddy
talk.
My daddy didn't die. That was just from a song. Yeah, we're a bit out of sorts in here this morning. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. What a crap game last night. Crap season. Just all rolled into one big crap omelet. But listen, somebody just said, you guys can make a bad night into a good morning. And I thought that's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said. So that's what we will try to do here this morning on Ben and Woods. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He is our EP, executive producer, also the DOI here at Odyssey. Is that right?
Yeah, you can say
the
that.
Director of Imaging. I love that. He's our imaging director.
I am
He's drunk with power is what he is. He's drunk with power.
I am
So you're saying if he's the imaging director, he's the ID. So he's the id with an ego now.
He's the id with an ego. The id and the
Maybe
F.
a super ego if we're not careful.
No, I love it. Stay drunk. Stay drunk with power.
love it.
You have all the power. You
need it.
You can decide what the station sounds like, all the imaging that goes into it. You could if you wanted to. He could, like, if Coach does a promo where, like, the levels are too high or, I don't know, it cuts off mid-sentence, he could fix it. He could call them and say, you guys have to redo that. Sorry. If he wanted to. If he got really, really intoxicated with power.
Hey, Adam, I got this.
Don't worry about it. I got it. That's fine. I'll just do it. It's brilliant.
No, I am actually double checking to make sure that we are all good. We are now also not only on, I put it all on the top of the rundown there for you guys.
Let's see
We are
here.
not only on 97.3 FM.
Right.
We are not only on the Odyssey app. We are not only on YouTube. We are not only anywhere you get your podcasts. We're also now on Twitch.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me?
The moment I have
Odyssey-
been waiting for.
Odyssey has a really great partnership with Twitch.
Yes.
And so if you are a Twitch user, you can go find us at 973 The Fan. And that's just another way. Look, we don't care. We just, however you consume the product, that's all we care about.
That's so good.
So we are up.
We're
and
on
running.
Twitch. So if you're a Twitcher,
A Twitcher.
a Twitchlet, you
A Twitchy.
a Twitchy, you can go to Twitch and watch us there. You just watch like you do here. It's just another way for you to just get full of Ben and Woods.
Get all the Ben and Woods.
Get it up in you. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, is here as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. You know what? I've got great news for everybody. It's a holiday weekend we're going into. 3-day
right.
weekend for most. I know not for everybody. I have to work on Sunday and Monday, but it's still, for most of you out there, it's a 3-day holiday weekend, which is reason to celebrate.
Yeah, for sure. I've got a lot of plans this weekend, but it will be nice to not have to come in and discuss. We'll just get one day of reprieve next week from talking about the Padres, and we will get into the Padres game. It won't take us long. I did the thing yesterday. A few people in the chat are asking how it went. Did the old first volunteer day at Bose Kindergarten, and it went pretty well. I was there a little early, as I usually am. And I not only was I there early, I think the time that they tell you to report is also probably a little bit early. So I got in. I walk into the
So just middle-aged man hanging around an elementary school.
and don't think I didn't feel those vibes. It's not. Is this bad? I can't. I was gonna. Something I said to Hannah last night. I just said, I was really a sore thumb. And I said, I'm good. If I sent our kids to an all-female school, that would be fine with me. Is that bad to say? Because there are men that aren't creeps that are like, oh, I want to teach third grade, and that's good. Good for you. But, like, I'm good with it. I looked out of sorts. I was like standing there, and
you mean like the teachers?
Yeah,
female.
of course.
Not
of course.
like
no,
a girls' school.
No.
Because they do those still.
Yeah,
right?
they
like
have those.
parochial
sure.
schools.
No.
with-
I just meant I was just me there, and I'm standing around these little kids, and they're So I walk in, I'm looking around, and Bo's at the table, and he's got this new friend. And it's the sweetest thing you've ever seen. It's the sweetest thing. They look like brothers. They're sitting at the table, and they're eating. He sees me, and I'm fully expecting, Dada! And he goes, he's 5. He goes, go. And he waved me to his classroom.
You're embarrassing him.
My heart broke in two. It did. And I go, oh, all right, buddy, I'll see you in a little bit. So then I go into the classroom, and now I'm just a guy sitting in a kid's classroom. There's nobody in there. The teachers, the TAs, nobody. So I'm on my phone, I'm like checking Padres news, seeing that, there are teams in baseball that are cleaning out their front office. It's crazy. So I'm reading, catching up on all that, and finally, they come in, and the kids run in, and they're so sweet. And, this is Mr. Steven, and he's going to help, and he's going to show you guys how to draw Pete the cat. And I'm like, I don't know how to draw. I have no idea. But it's about following instructions. There's a little chart. Okay, you make these. I bet I can do it from memory.
So your task was on following instructions day.
Yes, follow mine. I had to teach these kids how to follow instructions.
Because you're all about coloring outside the lines.
I am.
That's the Woods.
That's the Woods way.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we did some counting stuff, and we did some coloring stuff. I didn't have to do any big presentation, but I will say, man, I was a little bummed when he was like, no, go. I wanted, at preschool, it would be he would run to me and jump into my arms, and he's getting older. And I'm like, if he's this way in kindergarten, is he just going to move out when he's in 7th grade? He's not going to want to be seen with me at all.
Well, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is eventually they will once again come back to you and be like, yeah, I like my dad, and get along, but it'll never be that jump into your arms thing again. Once you've lost that, it's probably not coming back. So you'll eventually get to the point where he's not embarrassed by you anymore, and you'll move on to a different phase of your relationship. But this particular, all right, I don't really want to be seen with dad, that could last for a while now.
Yeah, is that
into high school and beyond?
Don't you feel that it's a little early?
It does. It feels a little early.
And he did. I will say this. I said to him last night when I was tucking him in. I go, hey, did you like having daddy at school? And he goes, yeah, he felt bad. He did. He felt bad. He goes, I would like to have you back at my school. I go, I'll be back. You don't worry about that. I have to. I'm forced to. So I will definitely 100% be back. I don't have a choice. Also, I want to, but mostly because I'm forced to. But I will be there at some point. So that was good. Other than that, man, a really interesting day, good day, terrible game. The usual. Went to get some sushi with the wife last night, and I have a topic.
Nice little treat.
Sure.
Not so much.
I have a topic for you guys. Out of all of the foods and food groups and places, types of food you can eat, isn't bad sushi the worst of all? Okay, you're going for sushi, you're going for pizza, you're going for Mexican food, you're going for Italian food, you're going for Chinese food, you're going for Japanese food, you're going for Indian food, whatever.
Thai, Greek.
Thai, name it. Thai, Greek, Ethiopian. Isn't bad sushi by far and away, the worst of all of the
It's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Of bad pizza is
still pretty good.
Bad, but it's still fine.
You'll eat it.
It's not going to turn you off pizza forever, right? Yeah, cardboardy, not great slice.
Like a cafeteria slice.
Like a bad piece of pizza, I guess, unless it's completely burnt.
Or
at
dough.
Its core,
or all
it's
dough.
Still
but
bread,
you'll
sauce,
still want
cheese.
you'll still want pizza in 2 or 3 days. But if you have bad sushi, you may be turned off.
I'm
for a while.
I'm pretty roasted for a while. It tasted like I got a spicy yellowtail roll, and you know what it tasted like? It tasted like if I went fishing in a creek and I pulled out a bass and I took the bass while still on the hook and went like this and just licked the underside of the bass. That's what it tasted like. There was no flavor other than fish. It was just, it tasted like bass.
It's the trick of sushi that you're going for fish, raw fish. That's why you're there. But the worst thing a sushi restaurant can be is fishy.
Fishy.
And I'm not as sensitive to it, but Shelly is very sensitive to it. I mean, we'll try a new sushi place. she may be 1 foot into the door and go, nope, this is not the place for me. Just it's a too fishy of a scent, whatever it's got. We've gone places 10 times that she loved. The 11th time didn't work out. We never go back again. I mean, we have gone around. I'm not quite as sensitive, so I can get past a slightly off sushi day once or twice.
But we're all in agreement, though. That's bad sushi is worse than bad anything else. And so Hannah was very upset with me because as I do, I complained about it basically the entire meal. And was like, I just can't believe this. This is really, this is like really fishy. And then, of course, you do the thing where you're like, try this. She's like, no, I don't want to try it. She's like, mine's good. I'm like, all right, well, I won't be coming back here. So it's the only way I can describe it is if you licked a raw fish. Like, and I know it's supposed to be raw, but you're supposed to mix it up with other things. You took it out of the water and went,
it should taste of the essence of the ocean. It should not taste like raw fish.
The sushi I always eat, I'm pretty basic.
Sure.
Like, I love sushi, but I'm limited.
California roll guy, yeah.
California roll, salmon roll,
Sure.
dragon roll
Sure.
is probably the craziest I'll get. But they're always a little cold, and when you get one that's like even room temperature, you're like, I already can tell I don't know how this is gonna go.
The worst is when Hannah wants to get DoorDash sushi delivered. I go, oh, good. Room temp sushi.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Just what everybody wants.
My recommendation, and I know this is Fancy Ben talking, but if you go with like the nigiri, just the piece of fish
Sure.
on the rice, you're probably going to get the best pieces because they don't hide it with anything.
It's a good
so
point.
they're going to give you the best quality on those. Now, if you get a chopped up, like a spicy something roll where they chop it up and mix it with some spicy mayo, and they can kind of disguise their lower, not every piece of fish that comes into the restaurant is going to be created equally, but they're a business and they can't just be throwing away half of what comes in. So they'll look and they'll go, okay, here's the good stuff. We'll reserve it for the sashimi and the nigiri pieces that you don't hide anything under. And then they'll take, here's it's not bad, but it's definitely not our highest quality. And they'll chop it up and make it into the spicy tunas and the gloopy kind of rolls where things are hidden. So my Fancy Ben recommendation is if you're going for the best stuff, you want to go with the least dressed pieces of sushi because you're most likely to get the good pieces.
Just burped it up. I just now, if you're watching on the feed, you can see me do it, and I still taste it. Yep, there it is.
Just watched it.
Oh, well, listen, I would have rather eaten a pound and a half of the bad sushi than watch what I watched when I got home last night, and I turned that game on.
Last night's game had a bad sushi feel
absolutely.
to it, didn't it?
Absolutely, dude.
I know a little stomach turning.
I know
a
the
little
season
unfresh.
I know the season has been like gas station sushi anyway, but last night was like gas station sushi that they left outside and then brought back in.
It's been sitting out for a little too long last night's game, and probably shouldn't have served it to anyone. That was a mistake.
The rage was it was boiling in me last night again. I was so mad last night watching these guys, and I really don't know how to reconcile my feelings about it, but that's what we have the next 3 hours and 45 minutes to do. I do want to hear from the tier ones today. I do. I'm thinking maybe even at 8. I'm thinking let's be thinking about some good. I'd like to do some spiritual mouthwash at 8. How about that, you guys? We haven't done that in a while.
Not a bad idea.
Just to reset, let's go into a long weekend on some positive vibes. There's good things happening to a lot of people I love, and a lot of you tier ones out there. 8 o'clock, be ready, call in, feed us with all the good stuff.
Yeah, if you don't know our spiritual mouthwash segment, something good happening in your life or in the community that you just want to share, we got a platform. We got a lot of people who listen, and something good happening. Non-sports related, non-Padres related. We're just talking something that you want to share that's good news here in San Diego or in your life. So we'll open the phones a little bit later and give an opportunity for everyone to go into the weekend on a better note than what our baseball team has left us with.
Yeah, people want us to talk about the Braves-Dodgers game. They said talk about some good teams. I watched a little bit of that one too.
I watched the Padres game, and I heard everything I needed to know about the Dodgers-Braves game.
I know that reference. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, we did it yesterday, too. We talked.
Major did.
Yeah, I mean, we talked. We were accused of Dodger loving ourselves yesterday. It's hard to avoid it right now. They're the hottest team in baseball.
Well, the
Padres are
Braves had a little something to say about that last
maybe
night.
the coldest team in baseball. They did. They ended their month on a sour note, but it was a good game last night for sure. We don't have to get right into that though. Let's get our daily ditty coming up next. Woodsy will wrap up our week of toe tapping, head bobbing fun. Musical fun.
And
then,
my ditty is actually part of my spiritual mouthwash
Nice.
as well. So
All right.
there you go.
Get into it on a Friday. Craig Elsten will join us. Don't have to talk Padres with Craig. We got crossing streams, streaming television recommendations.
Craig wants to talk
Oh
Padres.
my God, Craig's got it like down to the letter. I can't wait for this.
Craig is very excited. Excited, eager to talk
Yep.
Padres.
All right, we've got 4 hours with you getting started here. The first hour is brought to you by Smart and Final. This Labor Day, stock up and save. Shop Smart and Final. Get low prices on everything you need to throw the ultimate Labor Day cookout. Get it all in one trip, and that's it at Smart and Final. We'll be back after a check of traffic on Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
third.
I do know this song.
I switched mine out. Just because.
You lied to me.
I did. This song is unreal.
Fits the theme, though. I'm still bopping.
Yep.
My feet are tapping.
All right, Mama, tell me the truth about Daddy. When he died, all he left us was alone. Not like alone, but alone, right?
Loan.
Not like that kind of loan. ALONE.
Oh, A-L-O-N-E.
Not alone. All right, guys, I'm out. I'm going to loan you $40. See you
So
later.
you got to pay back all the money that I've borrowed
I love
now that I left
this
you.
song brings back such memories from my dad. Oh my God, Motown. Grew up in Detroit, right? This is what I was born and raised on. Him driving, listening to this, bobbing his head, like it's unbelievable the memories that come rushing back. But I love this song. That's the Temptations. Papa was a Rolling Stone. I listen to it all day. This should be like background.
Does that mean
noise.
he was a cad? He was cheating on, like he was out there rolling around, or what is?
A Rolling Stone gathers no moss, so
Right.
he just kept moving
From one place to another.
kind of shystery, like never
Settled down.
Never settled down. Never put down those roots. Didn't really take care of his responsibility. I am not a Rolling Stone. I'm a boulder. I just sit. Right, I got a home base. I'm not moving around and everything else, and I'm definitely not a Rolling Stone. There have been times in my life I've rolled like a stone, but this isn't that time. I don't like to do anything, as you know. So
Now you're firmly planted.
I am like I am just right in the ground. Can't get me out of there.
All right, we just got a couple of minutes here before the bottom of the hour. I guess I will share the breaking sports news on a Friday.
Oh, is there breaking sports news?
The ACC has officially voted to welcome Stanford, Cal, and SMU into their fold.
Okay, so
which,
it's official.
it is official. It is being reported by multiple sources, ESPN, The Athletic this morning, that the Atlantic Coast Conference, in this weird and crazy world of college sports now, will stretch from the Atlantic coast down to the Pacific coast of California with the addition of 3 new schools.
the nationwide conference.
And the Pac-12 is now the 2-pack because there's only 2 schools left in the conference, Washington
Yikes.
State and Oregon State, who will have to quickly find a new home in likely either the Mountain West or the American Athletic Conference. That's all that's left. Apparently there's no... This pretty much ends any thought of rebuilding the Pac-12 and inviting teams like San Diego State in. So it also closes off the avenue of San Diego State to possibly get into a new conference as well. It looks like they're going to be stuck in the Mountain West for at least the foreseeable future because there is now nowhere else to go unless the Big 12 came knocking, and it doesn't sound like that's coming anytime soon.
It's been quite a sports year, hasn't it?
It has.
Here in
It really has.
In our fair burg.
Now, the reason there was some serious opposition to, a lot of the schools in the AC said we don't want to fly to, San Francisco and Oakland for women's volleyball
and vice versa,
soccer games.
right?
Stanford and Cal really had no choice. They didn't want to go to the Mountain West, so they needed a conference, and this is a better solution for them than anything else. But it was a bunch of the schools in the ACC that didn't really want to do this. So what is happening is SMU, for 7 years, they're taking no TV money to get in. And Cal and Stanford are only going to take 30% of the TV money, and that gives a much bigger pool to the other schools that they were convinced, all right, so we're going to split another $50 million between us. I guess we can throw our kids on a couple of cross-country flights for that kind of extra pocket change going to the ACC school. So once again, it's all about money.
Sure.
In this case, it's not Stanford and Cal that are making out big. Eventually, they will become full members in time, and they'll have some stability for the future that they needed. But this is about now the ACC cashing in on more TV money with more schools and expanding and becoming like the Big Ten, a national coast-to-coast college sports conference.
Honestly, they should split the United States up into just 4 quadrants. Just an imaginary line and just go west. What would be next?
East,
No,
south, and north?
No, not those. I want to go long ways, Ben. I want to go long ways.
We know our directions.
This way.
Mountain,
Here on
Central,
Woods.
and East time zone.
Pacific,
Yeah.
Mountain,
Central,
and East.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be brilliant. Just do it like that. Just go up and down, north to south. Here's your conference. Here's your conference. What would be the and you can schedule non-conference games. You can do all the things that you do, and I don't know, man. It is it's bad, and it's that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt recruiting. It's gonna hurt all kinds of stuff. I mean, it just the ripple effect from this, and it hurts schools like San Diego State, of course, and it's just very disheartening. You know, it's very disheartening. It's a fairly it's a tough product as it is right now, and now I think it's going to get even tougher before it gets better.
It's far
Don't you agree?
it's far from ideal. Breaking up a lot of long time, the things that I think fans do care about, like long time rivalry games.
Yeah.
Oregon State, will they be able to play that game anymore? Washington State, when you've split up these conferences and turned them into something that they're just weren't designed to be in the beginning. For a lot, we'll still have games on TV, football games on Saturdays, and they'll play the NCAA tournament. And in the end, the college football playoff won't look any different. The NCAA tournament will still have 68 teams, and March Madness will still be the same once they get there. No one really cares what conference they came from in the beginning. So as fans, we will probably get used to it a little faster than you would expect. But for the athletes, especially the non-football playing athletes,
No doubt.
it's going to make the college experience worse, not better. When you're being asked if you're USC to go play Rutgers, women's soccer game on a Wednesday night, and have to fly all the way there on a Tuesday, play on Wednesday, fly all the way back on Thursday, miss your classes, try to catch up. It's just not a good experience for a lot of those college athletes, what they're going to be asked to do. Same now in the ACC, where you play for, Clemson, and you've got to go to Berkeley to play a women's volleyball game on a Thursday night. It's not good. It's not good for the students.
That Pac-2 is going to be one hell of a conference.
All right, who's next on the schedule? Washington State. Looks like Oregon State is coming up.
Then we go
Then
there.
they come here, and then we go
back.
there.
Then we're going to
and
go neutral site for another one. Woo! Hey, it's us or you guys this year. Good luck to you. That sucks. It sucks for the Aztecs, and again, it's going to get worse before it gets any better, and it's just the way that it goes sometimes.
All guests on Ben Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. We will have a mercifully short, and I mean short, Padres wrap-up coming up next from last night's 7-2 loss.
Last night's sushi.
How many of you out there even made it to the end, I'm wondering?
I did.
Good for you. I did as well.
Watched every pitch.
I did as well.
I'm
curious.
You know why I did.
Because you feel responsible.
No. I told you.
You host a show on the flagship station.
Bro, I've napped through many a game, my friend. Many a game. Last night, though, after the way it started, I had to see how it finished.
Bob Melvin will succinctly wrap up last night's game for us next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back. Sour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by BalancePro.org. Are you worried you're going to lose your home? The Balance Foreclosure Prevention Team can help provide assistance and info to guide you to avoid default and foreclosure. Call to schedule an appointment at 1-888-456-2227 or visit BalancePro.org. We got some giveaways coming up today. We've been doing them at the end of the show, but I do want to try to give our earlier listeners a chance to win. So coming up in our 7 o'clock hour, next hour, we're going to have tickets to Bert Kreischer performing at Pechanga Arena 1 month from today, October the 1st. He's going to be in town. So listen in our 7 o'clock hour. And then later in the show, second half of Ben and Woods, we have another Fernando Tatis Jr. bobblehead to give away this morning. So stay tuned for your chance to win. You like prizes out there. We got some prizes for you today.
Do you like sushi burps out there? Because that's what you guys are getting.
I'm glad you're a few feet away from me right now.
I apologize.
Because I'm hearing noises that are not that attractive this morning.
I just texted my wife. I said, is everything okay over there? I have an uneasy feeling. And then I realized it's the rotted sea bass in my stomach that was supposed to be tuna, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
All right, we're going to have a mercifully brief Padres wrap-up coming up right after a check of traffic. I just promise you, it's not an extended version.
The intro is longer than the clip.
The intro will be longer than the clip after Vicky's traffic here on 97.3
As most of our intros are.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Vicky Pepper.
This report brought to you by Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. A couple problems in North County. The 15 South is down a couple lanes between Deer Springs and Rock Springs for maintenance. And in Oceanside, 5 South at Harbor, a collision in the left lane. Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Coach Kentera and Joe Musgrove's choice. They're a different kind of dealership looking to be a solid community partner and deliver excellent service. Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Chevrolet, find new roads. I'm Vicky Pepper, in for Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
You can visit Pity City, but you can't live there.
Oh, it's been a great day today. Can't wait for more.
Hey guys, it's Woodsy, live from the Crapper again.
Did you miss any of the Padres game yesterday?
Cancel the parade. That's why you play the games.
Oh, God, here we go.
It's the Padres wrap-up with Ben and Woods.
Slam Diego? More like fail Diego.
Presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. On 97.3 The Fan.
I just felt the way that the roster is built, they would have to outscore their opponents to win.
I'm not sure if it matters at this point, but what does it mean to you that tonight in a lot of ways was kind of a new level of not very good baseball?
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. That is our Padres wrap-up today of a 7-2 loss to the San Francisco Giants. I mean, it wasn't a walk-off heartbreaker at the end. I will say they spared us the pain of, leading us on for 9 innings and making us think, oh, maybe this is the one where they win it and then only lose it on the last pitch of the game. This one was over in the 3rd inning. I mean, it was over as much as any game has been over. I don't know what the official win percentage was, but it felt like 99.9999% for the San Francisco Giants after they scored 6 runs in the 3rd inning, 5 unearned off of Pedro Avila. The defense was it was comical.
It was atrocious. It was.
For a team that's played good defense this year, it was comical last night.
Yeah, and you know what, man? It's not Matt Batten's fault. Matt Batten's not a first baseman. That's not his fault. That was a hot shot down to first base. I'm not going to blame a guy who probably shouldn't be on a big league. He's put together some nice ABs lately, certainly, but at the end of the day, he's not a first baseman. That's not his fault. It's not his fault. We're not putting guys in the best position to win games, and that's on the manager, the general manager, whatever. I thought the wild throw by Manny, pretty uncharacteristic, and then pretty lazy throw by Manny, one that he makes 99 out of 100 times, hits Batten in the chest. It doesn't. Gets kind of crossed up with the runner there, and the wheels just fall off. And that's what you're seeing more and more. Sammy Levitt had a great tweet last night that really kind of puts it in perspective. I retweeted it. I will pull it up right now. The Padres played mostly good defense this season. Through their first 123 games, they had 49 errors. That was tied for the fourth fewest in Major League Baseball, and that's been your top 5 defensive team.
Super solid.
Padres have committed 15 errors in their last 12 games, including tonight. Most in Major League Baseball during that span. What does that tell you? It's not.
It tells me more than one thing.
Well,
I mean,
it's not stone cold evidence that they've quit and are lazy, but it doesn't help that case.
I mean, I think 3, 4, or 5 of those errors have been by Ha-Sung Kim, the one player that most fans will say is the one who's out there still giving it his all. But his defense has really taken a hit. He didn't get charged for an error last night, but he had a critical play that went off his foot. They gave him a double on that one.
That dude a double.
They didn't get an error on the bunt single, but it was certainly not Kim was a little late getting over to first base to cover. Ha-Sung Kim has actually been one of the biggest defensive culprits after being literally the best defensive player in baseball. It's hard to throw him under the bus, but when you look at those declining defensive numbers, you can kind of circle the right side of the infield. After Jake got hurt, and you've been putting Garrett Cooper and now Matt Batten out there who are not great, first baseman playing out of position in the case of Batten, and then Kim's decline, and Manny has been a little ragged as well.
And he's apparently, I was reading AC's newsletter, and he's pretty banged up. He's got the shut it down, man. There's no reason. Don't be a hero. Not that you could be right now. Just it's done. It's over, man. Wash your hands of it. Move on. This team has a bigger problem. It's something that I didn't think I would see. And you're seeing people out there not turn on the team, the San Diego Padres, but they are turning on players that they used to love. Then they're saying blank is my favorite player. But after watching blank play this year, I don't like him anymore. I'm seeing that more and more and more. They are leaving a really poor taste in fans' mouth, which is tough. Like if you love a player, you're supposed to love that player forever. It's gotten a little dicey, I think, and that's how bad it's gotten. They've got more work to do next year than just winning baseball games. They really need to go back to try to win hearts and minds again. I'm not kidding. Like, I see it more and more every single day. Like, blank used to be my favorite player. Now I'm questioning myself. Blank used to be my favorite player. Now they just seem unlikable. I see the word unlikable about this team way more than I thought I ever would, because when they're good and when they were hot, damn near the most likable, fun team. We're in here defending them. Everybody's defending them. They're our guys. I mean, they're still our guys, right? But they got some work to do. They really do.
I guess it begs the question, can a team have a losing record but still be likable and fun?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's absolutely possible.
I don't know that it is.
I think it is.
Especially for a team that had high expectations.
Oh, you mean the team like this?
Yeah.
No, other teams. I'm talking about other teams. There can be a team that's not winning as much as they should. It's all based on expectations. So, bro, there's been some really likable Padres teams that weren't good, but man, you love the effort that you saw every night. You loved.
But would it have been possible for this year's team to have this record, but for fans to go, yeah, but they are fun. I love watching them play. I know that they're 30 games behind where we thought they'd be.
The only way.
Man, they look like they're having a good time out there and having fun. It's impossible.
The only way.
They have to win.
The only way
to have fun
would have been where, like, if the pitching staff was decimated, which was, part of the fallout from a couple of years ago. If there was something you could point to go, well, definitely wasn't our year, but man, our guys played hard till the end. They gave it their all. They continued to pull for each other. This is stupid. I'm going to say it anyway. I wasn't going to until I got a reinforcement on it. Game starts last night. Put it on first second. The first camera shot you see is into the Padres dugout. And it's Gary Sanchez standing there, staring out at the field in his gear. Manny walks by, doesn't look at him, doesn't say anything. Niebla is standing there next to Sanchez. He says a couple of words. It looks like it is a team full of statues in the dugout. We're talking pregame. We're talking pregame against the rival San Francisco Giants. Big game at Petco Park. still a lot of fans there last night for how poorly they've been playing. It looks like a mausoleum, right? So then they pan over to the Giants dugout. They're slapping asses, playing grab ass, having fun, needling, ribbing, high five, going through the line, and I go, all right, well, I'm no body language expert, but that didn't look great. So then I check my DMs. My boy Mike goes, hey, did you see that? I go, what? And he goes, the dugouts. I go, I did. I saw that. I'm curious if anybody else did. It just looks bad. It looks like they're done.
Yes, but when you play the way the Padres have, there's no winning that situation. If the Padres
is.
If the Padres were in the dugout slapping and high-fiving and looking like they were
Before
having
a game?
good
That'd
time,
be great.
I think it would anger most fans.
Oh, no way. No chance.
You don't deserve to be having a good time out there.
You're not having a good time. You're getting fired up for the game. That's it. You'll see the 0-14 Lions or something. They don't just walk out of the locker room. They come out ready to play. Our guys were standing there like, let's get this over with. Let's get it over with. It's a dumb thing. It's 2 seconds of a camera grab. That's it. But somebody else noticed it, and I noticed it right off the bat, and I went, man, that's you can be having the worst season of all time. That doesn't mean you don't go up and go, let's go, come on, let's go, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. And it was glaring.
There's a human part of me that understands. They're frustrated. This is not fun for them, just like it's not fun for us as fans. However, I see these highlights from the Padres minor leaguers, and I don't obviously get to see the whole game, but you see Homer Bush flying around making catches in the outfield. You see these young guys looking like they're having fun and caring, and Jackson Merrill is hitting bombs, just absolutely crushing the ball. And they've had a long season, and they've been grinding it out for months and months in the minor leagues, and they look like they got plenty of energy and pizzazz right to the end of the season. It does feel like the Padres lost it at some point, somewhere, or if they ever even had it.
If they ever had it.
We were talking about this all the way back in April, really, when they were in Mexico City and the piñatas came out. And, it was like, I don't know, that when they play bad, you don't really want them. Are they celebrating the right way? Are they forcing it? What's going on here? Haven't we been talking about this all season long? Even when we didn't know this year was going to turn out the way it did, that there was something a little off the entire year?
Yeah, there was. It's not an uncommon thing to, before a baseball game, tell your teammates, let's go get him. Come on, man, let's fight, let's have some pride.
Now, you saw 5 seconds. It could have happened 5 seconds before the camera went on or 5 seconds after the camera went on.
For sure.
So that's why I'm always wary about analyzing body language from being on television.
I'm just telling you what I saw. There's a couple people in the chat that agree. They said, I saw the same thing. It's just a season worth of bad looks.
Well, I think back to a conversation. You went on a rant sometime early to mid-July, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
You said, I'm going to watch this team like a hawk.
Mm-hmm, and I did.
And your message was, don't get apathetic. They want you to get apathetic and just not care.
Yeah.
Care. Watch this team.
Yeah,
Let's see how they finish this season out. That was back before the deadline.
Oh, yeah.
The writing was on the wall for the 2023 season. So I'm curious how that hit for you.
Well, that's why I say they've got work to do more than just on the baseball field. Honestly, I think there's a lot of there are going to be players that go, I don't care what fans think, and I don't care what the media thinks. I played for me. I played for my family. Fine. That's great. Good for you. But I think, I would imagine every player wants the whole package, right? They want to win. They want to be respected by their teammates. They want to be loved by their city. You're seeing it in Philadelphia. You're seeing it like crazy. We'll play you some Nick Castellanos audio later in the show that I thought was outstanding. There is no culture here. There is no identity. The only identity right now is collapsers. That's what their identity is, collapsers. And until they change it, until they are show some contrition, some humility, I think, it's hard to do. Being humbling yourself is really, really hard. Crazy thing is, baseball does a damn good job of humbling you anyway. And they've all been humbled this year. And what I saw last night, you look up and it's the third inning and it's 6-0. You're like, okay, you can't tell me you're out there still dying to win. You can't.
The Dodgers were down 6 last night. They didn't win. But they sure came back and made it interesting. You never get the feeling like the Padres can do that.
Somebody said they need to go on a friendship retreat. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, really. Like, when things get bad, pull it together again, and we've just never seen this team together. Maybe next year will be different.
Today is September 1st. Actually, oftentimes a significant day for the bad teams in baseball. I want to talk about that. Coming up, we'll also play a little Take on Woods, a chance to qualify another listener for a trip to Las Vegas in our musical trivia contest. Hour number 2, right around the corner here on 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back.
Say thank you, Ben and Paul and Tier 1s out there. It does make it better to talk about it. It does. It makes me feel better. You know, you watch the game, you sit on it you sleep on it. If we started up the program last night in the 3rd inning, man, we would have gotten an really, really unhinged, unvarnished me. which we should do that sometime before the end of the year. Maybe we'll just do like a surprise show, because I was pretty hot, and got some nice messages this morning like, hey, man, it helps to talk about it. It helps to hear you guys talk about it. They can tell that we're as frustrated as they are out there, Benjamin. So it is 27 of these left to go. And I usually say I'm going to miss it when it's gone. I don't think I'm going to miss this season. This has been the most unenjoyable one I can remember.
How about this for you? If the Padres won all of them, 27-0,
yeah,
and finished the season on a 27-game winning streak, they would simply match their record from last year. They have already lost 73 games, the same number that they lost all of last season. And they did that before even getting to the final month of the year.
Now, I got a DM. We got one on the show account yesterday. I'm going to pull it up quickly, and I thought it was really, really funny, and I had totally forgotten about this. But one of our tier ones said, do you guys remember, you should pull the audio of earlier in the season. I think we set I think it was Ben's idea. It sounds like a Ben, when Ben would say, if I told you right now, we were guaranteed 87 wins. I think 87 was the number you came up with. Would you take it? And I said, absolutely not. I said, no way. I think we all said 87 wins? No, we need more than that. And boy, they're not going to sniff 87 wins this
Not
year.
even close.
They can't. I mean, can they win?
89 is what they
89
they
is what
won
they
every
could.
single game is the maximum. They're not going to have a 90-win season, though. They've guaranteed that already.
Here he goes. Keith, I think it'd be interesting to pull up that segment you did. Oh, I asked Ben. Oh, wait. When you asked Ben and Woods if you could guarantee, maybe that's Paulie, get 87 wins, would you take it, or would you not take it because you think they're going to easily get more wins because this team is so stacked? It was probably like mid-March, end of March. I'd like to hear that discussion again and then have you discuss it now with hindsight.
Keith, you go ahead and you listen to every show from the
back
month
in
of
March and let us know.
Well, I know where it was.
I think when we did our over-unders, I mean, we were setting the number in the mid-90s.
Yep.
With what we thought the Padres should really be.
I honestly thought they'd be a 100-win team this year.
And there was that was a legitimate argument. This team should even maybe win 100 games for the first time in franchise history.
Yeah.
No one was talking about under 500. No one was talking about potentially losing 90 games, which honestly they're well on their way. If they don't, I mean, you look at the next couple of weeks, they got 3 more against the Giants, who are right in the middle of a playoff race. The Phillies playing really well in a playoff race. The Astros battling tooth and nail at the top of the AL West. And then the Dodgers might be the hottest team in baseball in the month of August. The next 4 series, if they play like they did last night, they're looking at a 15-game losing streak coming up right here.
No question. No question. We got a Dodger fan in the chat. He said, play back some of the FanFest audio of Manny and some of the guys. And I've seen a lot of blowback about FanFest, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not going to get mad at the players like being prideful and excited at a sold-out FanFest with how many fans? Like 60,000 people?
60,000 people.
Like, that's what a FanFest is. It's a pep rally. You don't see it. You don't go to a pep rally and the team comes out and they go, we are going to massively underachieve. Or they don't say, hey, well, it's baseball. We're going to let the chips fall where they may. They're proud. They're excited. They're proud. They're boastful.
We do a live show. We're here with Jake Cronenworth. Jake, how excited are you for the 2023 season? It's probably going to be the worst year of my career.
Not really. Not really excited. It's baseball. They were hype. It was hype. I can't. I'm not mad at them for being excited at FanFest.
I was listening yesterday afternoon on my way into Channel 10 to Gwen and Chris. They had our friend Bryce Miller from the UT on, and he was teasing a column that was going to drop. And he said, I actually wrote about the Padres MVP. And, Chris goes, oh, interesting. He goes, nope, not Ha-Seong Kim, not Blake Snell. You're going to have to find, get the paper or check online to find out. And I thought, not Ha-Seong Kim.
I know the answer.
Not Blake Snell. And I was thinking to myself, who else could it be that was the Padres MVP this season? And when it dropped that afternoon,
is it the fans?
It was the fans.
100%.
Yeah, and I thought that was a great call.
Could not agree more.
That was a great call by Bryce Miller. That the MVP of the 2023 Padres season, without any question, has been Padres fans who have shown up in record numbers, have been enthusiastic all year. Yeah, there's been some boos lately, as there should be.
Right.
for a team that's playing the way that they're playing right now. That there has been no one who has done their job in and around the San Diego Padres organization this year better than Padres fans have done their job.
And Sammy Levitt. Those are your MVPs for the
Fair enough.
2023 season.
We need a contestant for Take on Woods if you want to get in. Last chance this week, I think last chance this month to qualify for the getaway to the Westgate. Cool and the gang. Get your name in there, and then you can get it in for next month's contest when we come back next week. 833-288-0973. Our musical trivia contest is about 3 minutes away. 833-288-0973. Dial in now. Wait on hold. Paulie will just pop it up, and we'll pick a contestant here in a second. But today is September 1st, which is call-up day. Now, it's not like it used to be. Used to be you could bring up 5-6 guys from the minors and give them all a look-see in the big leagues over the last few weeks of the season. Now you can only expand your roster by 2. 1 player, 1 pitcher. And I don't know who the Padres are going to bring up. Obviously, they need another arm. With
Today,
Robert,
you said? It's
today.
Today? Okay.
Today's the day. With Robert Suarez dropping his suspension, they're down a pitcher in the bullpen. So they need another. They just need another arm. I'm looking at the 40-man roster. No one's gonna get you excited. That's down there right now. Adrian Morejon is back down there. He could be brought back up. I mean, they need bodies. Some body is going to come up. You can see Sean Reynolds, the guy they traded for, but he has
been terrible.
I mean, Jay Groom is on the 40-man.
Bad.
I mean, there's just no one that's really exciting at the moment that they're going to bring up. Position-wise, same thing. On the 40-man roster, Taylor Colway, Aggie Rosario is back. I mean, guys we've seen before. Or you could reach down and bring up one of your exciting young prospects like Jackson Merrill from Double-A. And there is certainly, I mean, as a fan, I would be intrigued. One of the most interesting things about the rest of the season would be watching Jackson Merrill make his major league debut and see how he does against big league hitting if they chose to do that over these last few weeks of the year. I just don't know if that's the smart thing to do right now for the Padres. And it has nothing to do with service time, starting their clock, anything like that.
No.
I simply don't know whether bringing a young player up to this current climate,
Right.
and this roster and how they're playing,
Right.
and this atmosphere,
Right.
is going to be better than having him in a playoff race down in San Antonio with a bunch of young core nucleus guys that you have purposely put together for the, for a playoff run. Like, we want to see you guys, gel and get some camaraderie and start coming up, learn how to win together. I don't really want to rip any of those guys away, even if, the dream is to make the big leagues, obviously. So I'm not sure what the Padres do with their extra roster spot right now for the month of September.
I could not agree with you more. I thought to myself, and it sucks that my head works this way, Benny, but I was like, it would be very Padres-like to bring up a Jackson Merrill just to stoke the fires again, probably get some asses in the seats, I would imagine. People want to see the new young prospect.
The tickets for the most, I know there are some tickets available,
Sure.
but they're
sold.
Based on the results of this season, they have sold far more tickets than any other, sub 500 team could dream of probably selling this season.
It's again, I agree with you. It's not, I don't care really when his clock starts. If he can play, he can play. The Padres have been great about that. If they think you're ready, they bring you up. They don't manipulate service time. That's one in the plus column for the San Diego Padres. I'd like to see those guys gel, because if there's 11 guys down there that they're high on, 4 of them maybe could help us next year go out and try to compete again, because we have not competed this year. Let's get them developed. Let's truly develop them. You see guys come up. The shortstop that was playing for the Cardinals,
Jordan Walker.
He was in right.
He was the
they
outfielder.
moved him out to right field. But the shortstop, I can't remember his name. He's a good player, but 165 average, 1 RBI. Is that good for him? Also, you make a brilliant point. We want their first time in a big league dugout to be in this one this year, with a bunch of guys with their heads down, walking around, probably not talking to each other very much, checked out, essentially. That's not what I want.
I don't.
So I think let them win that chip down there. Mason win.
Yeah.
Keep them together. Let them win that chip, and that's something. That means something. And that helps their development, learning how to win together. So I agree. I don't know what you do.
We'll hear from some fans about this coming up here. We'll open the phones in a little bit. Right now, we got a contestant on the line. Let's get to one last game for our August prize of Take on Woods. We got Zach on the line. Zach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Good. All right.
What's up, Zach?
You know how to play our game here. 5 questions, musical trivia, head-to-head against Woods. If you beat or tie him, we will put you into the drawing. Last chance this month. I know it's September, but because the week is ending on a Friday, we're going to put you into the drawing for the Westgate trip for 2 nights, 2 tickets to Cool and the Gang, back through 2024 with a residency. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Check out the $70 million in room renovations at the Westgate, home of legendary Vegas fun. And to give you a little bit of an edge, Zach, we'll let you choose the category today for Take on Woods. Here are the 3 choices. Will wonders never cease? The word wonder, key to all the answers. Going, going, gone. 5 songs that include the word going in the title. And our new category is called Title Yes, Lyrics No. Those are songs in which the title of the song does not appear anywhere in the lyrics to the song. So of those 3, Zach, Will Wonders Never Cease, Going, Going, Gone, or Title Yes, Lyrics No? What would you like to play?
Oh, man. Let's go Going, Going, Gone.
Going, Going, Gone. Again, 5 songs, each of them featuring the word going somewhere in the title. If you don't know an answer, say pass. We'll come to it at the end if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie is going to play a short clip of a well-known hit. You need to give me the title, including the word going, and the artist on that one to score the point, and then we'll go on from there. Zach, are you ready to play?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Good luck. 60 seconds on the clock. The category going, going, gone. Your time begins when Paul plays our music. Good luck, Zach. Let's take on Woods.
Spend my days with a woman unkind.
Ranked as one of Rolling Stone's top 10 songs of all time, which soft-sounding Marvin Gaye classic is actually about ending police brutality.
What's going on?
Correct. The 1989 Aerosmith song Love in an Elevator is also known by which other 2-word title?
Oh, Going Down?
Correct. Which 1997 Notorious B.I.G. hit begins with an uncredited ditty, waking up Biggie with a phone call?
Oh, man. Pass.
Before Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car, Billy Ocean recorded which other hit with a 9-word title?
Pass.
Go back to our 2-second song. See if you can get this one.
Spend my days with a woman unkind.
Oh,
Come on.
Oh, you did get 2. I think Woodsy's going to get that 2-second song. That was Going to California by Led Zeppelin. You got What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. You got Going Down, Love in an Elevator by Aerosmith. Going Back to Cali is Notorious B.I.G. And When the Going Gets Tough, The Tough Get Going by Billy Ocean is the 9-word title. So you got 2. I don't know if it's going to be enough here, Zach, but not a poorly played game to be sure. Bring Woods back in. He doesn't get the category. Comes in blind. Doesn't even know what the score he needs to beat is. We'll see. 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Zach.
Spend my days
Going to California, Led Zeppelin.
Correct. Ranked as one of Rolling Stone's top 10 songs of all time, which soft-sounding Marvin Gaye classic is actually about ending police brutality.
What's Going On?
Correct. The 1989 Aerosmith song Love in an Elevator is also known by which other 2-word title?
Going Down.
Correct. Which 1997 Notorious B.I.G. hit begins with an uncredited ditty, waking up Biggie with a phone call?
Going. Something going. Going Back to Cali.
Correct. Before Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car, Billy Ocean recorded which other hit with a 9-word title?
I thought he only had the one hit.
No, he's got another one. You know it.
Going
Yeah, you got the word.
down
No.
to my tank. I have no idea.
That is a 4-2 win for Woods. The one you didn't get was when the going gets tough. The tough gets going in the category of going, gone. I always make the hardest one, usually the last one there. Zach, thank you for playing. That should wrap up a month, and we should come back next week on Tuesday with a new getaway prize for Take On Woods.
We talked about the Aerosmith bit before, but man, you've never seen two halves of a band like that. One of the best, coolest, raddest rock and roll bands ever, and then into Love in an Elevator, Ragdoll, Janie's
Dude
got
looks
a
like
dude
a
looks
lady.
like a lady. I mean, it just went. It went so far south after. I mean, the 70s Aerosmith was like, oh, dude, best rock and roll. I was listening to some a couple weekends ago. I was like, Sweet Emotion.
Dream On,
Sweet Emotion. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever heard. This is rock and roll at its purest. And then Ragdoll, living in a movie. Like, what happened to you guys? What happened? Hot Tramp, Daddy's Little Cutie. It makes me... This offseason, we will be doing our worst songs of all time. That will be on there. We will be doing a bracket for the worst songs of all time. Yeah, and we'll take listener submissions, the whole thing, and we'll get down to number. I think it's going to be putting on the Ritz. I think, but you'll have a chance to vote. But Ragdoll's in there, no question. Ragdoll, living in a movie. Hey, let's do an old flapper style rock and roll song, guys. You in? Sure. It's a good category, though.
All right. We will refresh next week and come back with some new prizes on Take On Woods. Don't Do This is coming up next.
I mean, we have one of the better do thises of the year in Ronald Acuna.
I mean, for a day.
It's pretty cool.
Have a day.
Have a day, my man.
For sure.
No. Have a season, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, what a year for that guy.
Some people say he's not the MVP.
He's the MVP.
The odds are very close.
How dare you, Paul? How dare you?
Coming back with more Ben and Woods after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
You never see you leaving by the back door.
Got some tickets to give away coming up right after Don't Do This. You'll have a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Bert Kreischer performing at Pechanga Arena on October 1st. This segment, Ben and Woods, brought to you by the Golf Mart. And to start Don't Do This today, I turn things over to Mr. Stephen Woods.
Well, I got an update for you on the incident I reported earlier in the week about Matthew Stafford's wife on her podcast, getting on the podcast and saying, yeah, Matthew's just having the hardest time. All these kids are in their phones, and he doesn't know what to do, and he's having a hard time connecting. Well, as things do, they get legs. And that obviously moved through the locker room.
That means when a story continues and starts to grow on its own organically.
Yeah, Ben asked me one time if I knew what that meant, when a story gets legs. No, I thought they grew actual legs. I thought it was
get up and walk on out.
away.
So you don't have quite the media background, so I wasn't sure if you were familiar with all the terminology.
Oh my God.
Is that wrong?
You're a moron.
You're also fat, and I'm not. So just FYI. Matthew Stafford's wife has apologized, and she said that was probably the worst thing I've ever done when it comes to him. She said, you never really want your wife's name in the media if it's talking about sports. I felt pretty bad last week. I put my foot in my mouth pretty good. And she said, look, the topic is relatable. It's a relatable topic to our audience relating to younger people. That being said,
she's not wrong.
Right. She said, but I'm not in an NFL locker room. I'm not spending every day in there with these teammates. Also, it's kind of one of those things where husband comes home from work, vents to his wife, and she's like, cool, I'm going to go do a podcast. So Hannah gets on there, and she's like, so what time did Ben came in, and he was like 15 minutes late, and Paulie did that. Like, you guys would be so mad, right?
It sounds like she's, but it sounds like they have a good relationship.
I think so, too.
Yeah,
and
which is nice.
Sean McVay, he kind of brushed it off. He said, I thought it was more of a joke talking about the old man, which he is. He's like the oldest guy in the locker room at 35. And Matthew hasn't said anything, but I bet there was a convo that was had at home. Like, Kelly, you can't.
Well handled all around.
100%.
You know what? Yeah, maybe she had the original "Don't Do This" by bringing it up, but came clean. You're all right. I stuck my foot in my mouth.
I messed up.
No one can ever get mad at someone who admits, "Hey,
you can't.
I totally messed up.
I screwed that up, guys."
That's all you really want.
100%
in any kind of relationship.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. I found this. Our friend Ryan Phillips, who we had on yesterday, wrote about this in the big lead, and I am one. I hate fake football coach speeches. The ones that Marty Schottenheimer was a master at it. He was a manipulative SOB as a coach. He would push buttons. It was all strategic with him. He'd shed tears in the locker room, and players eventually got tired of it. But I know there's a place for genuine emotion, especially in football. We've seen our guy Dan Campbell seems to really have nailed it. So Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon, we were just talking about him. A video came out of him yesterday, and I will say this. He says all the right words. It's how he says them that this is the opposite of that. And, well, it just kind of – I'll let you listen to it for yourself.
So he's not inspiring?
Yeah, he's in one of the team, big meeting rooms. We're all in an auditorium. He's down front, and he's trying to give an inspirational speech to his team. And the words are correct. Just the passion behind them seems to be missing. You judge for yourself.
Welcome back. Who drove over here? Quick, let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut?
Fire in your gut.
Did you?
Did you?
We're here for a reason. Don't get that twisted. Okay? We're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast.
Oh, wow.
Be who you are. Just understand, I'm looking for killers.
Oh,
there's no like. I mean,
the music. They tried.
They tried
They
really hard.
really tried.
I'm looking for fire in the gut. I mean, you do have to. You have to.
Do you guys
there's
drive?
some
Who drove here
theatrics.
today?
Yeah.
Did you drive?
Raise
Did
your
you take the
hands.
bus? Do you have a standard or an automatic? Do you get good gas mileage? Do you? That's good.
How much was gas this morning?
Where do you fill up? Do you love the Shell or the the Chevron? All right.
You a podcast guy?
You like
Or
you like
radio?
music? You like sports radio?
You better listen to Ben
Let's
and
go.
Woods.
Let's go kick some ass.
Woods, do you
this
have
year.
some fire in your gut this morning?
literal
From the
sushi. Yeah, a sushi, rotted sushi.
I'm looking for some bleeping killers.
I want some killers out there.
That's
You sound like a serial killer, actually.
Yeah. Sure. Quickly, Ronald Acuna Jr. last night. Do you have the audio of the home run? You don't need it if you don't have it.
I do not.
I don't care. But it's a pretty cool story. So he had a grand slam yesterday against the Dodgers. The Braves ended up winning. What a game, 8-7. Dodgers came back at the end. Braves looked like they were running away with it, but these two teams are it feels like destiny that they meet to decide who goes to the World Series, Benjamin. And pretty cool day for Ronald Acuna Jr. He had planned to get married in the offseason. His fiance's visa was about to expire, keeping her and the kids away for 3 months. He wanted them here in the States for the stretch run. So they arranged a wedding in L.A. In 24 hours. Hurried yet captivating wedding ceremony ended with Acuna making history, hitting the grand slam that propelled the Braves to an 8-7 victory. Made him the first player ever to combine 30 home runs and 60 bags in one 30-60 man, dude. And by the way, it's September 1st now. He still has an entire month left. So his new wife and their 2 sons watched from the stands. And I thought a really, really funny quote I saw was they asked Matt Olson. They said to Matt, let me see. Let me find it. I tweeted it this morning. They asked Matt Olson last night, how could he pull that off? He got married in the morning, very little sleep after the travel. He hits a grand slam to be the first 30-60 player in Major League Baseball history. Olson says, the power of love? I don't know. I'm going to renew my vows tomorrow.
ESPN Stan Verrett had one of the all-time lines on SportsCenter last night saying, hey, you get married, then you go out and you hit a grand slam. Just everybody gets past third base on their wedding night.
Oh, man. Spicy.
I laughed. I laughed, and I had to tweet about it. Good job, Stan Verrett, on the line of the year about Ronald Acuna Jr. But Mookie Betts homered twice.
Yeah.
And he was a long shot for the MVP. Their odds are now running neck and neck for National League MVP because Mookie had a huge month of August. But it's hard. 30-60 and still going.
Still going, man. Unbelievable.
Tough call there. And that's Don't and Do This for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we want to hear from some Padres fans this morning. I know the frustration is there. I'm not necessarily looking for body language experts like we were talking about earlier, but I want your genuine feelings right now. 833-288-0973. Also, if you've got what we talked about, the September call-ups, do you even want to see a top prospect brought up into this mess right now? Or are they better off staying down in Double-A and just leave it to these guys to finish out this season? We'll worry about it next year.
Yeah, it's basically a grab bag for a Padres fan. Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, just a reminder, if you're usually listening at this time on Fridays when we talk to Craig Elsten, he will still be joining us. Pushed him back an hour to 8:35 this morning.
Keep him. And we've got some tickets to give away right now, as I promised. Bert Kreischer coming to Pechanga Arena on October 1st. Tickets are on sale now at access.com, AXS.com. But fourth caller is going to win a 4-pack right now at 833-288-0973. Back after this on 97.3 The Fan. All right, congratulations to Dominic, won the Burt Kreischer tickets. If you did not win, sorry, but you will have a chance to win a Fernando Tatis Jr. bobblehead coming up in the second half of Ben and Woods today. So let's clear out the phone lines. If you didn't win, come back later for the bobblehead.
We always do that where we solicit callers and then do a contest.
That's me.
So
that's on
then,
me.
That's on Ben.
That's bad planning on my part.
That's accountability right there. That's what that looks like. Accountability.
It's tough.
You're the Rich Hill of the show.
You have to do some forecasting, like how does that look, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, there's the giveaway. Oh, but we wanted calls to call in, but we only have one set of phone lines. So
I think it's funny if we go through the calls and see if they called to bitch about the Padres or if they wanted to win the prize. They can do both.
You can,
but you're not going to win the prize.
No, but if you want to call now and join us to talk Padres, you can try to get in now at 833-288-0973. If you're still calling in to win the prize, though, that is no longer available to you. We'll remind everybody this hour on Ben and Woods is brought to you by the Farmer's Dog, fresh human-grade dog food delivered right to your door. Good health starts with healthy food. That goes for dogs, too. The Farmer's Dog delivers fresh human-grade dog food right to your door, so it's easy to quit the burnt brown balls and feed your dog real food.
It's me every time.
50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/dog days. Oh, we are in the dog days. That is eminently clear.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about those dog days after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Vicki Pepper.
This report brought to you by Premier Kia of Carlsbad in North County, 5 south of the 78. Someone ran out of gas in the number 2 lane. Premier Kia of Carlsbad, with a huge selection of new Kias in stock, they're sure to have the Kia of your dreams. They're right off the 5 freeway in the heart of Carlsbad, or shop online at premierkiaofcarlsbad.com. I'm Vicki Pepper, in for Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, 833-288-0973. Paul is answering the phones and going, no, we
Sorry,
already gave away the
away.
Burt Kreischer tickets.
If
You want to
you're
talk
on hold
Padres?
and you are calling for the
listening.
tickets, they are gone.
They are gone.
Sorry about that. Again, bad planning on my
Should
part.
make Ben take these calls. What am
Yes.
I?
Yeah, really should. Yeah,
100%.
that'd be a good punishment.
Get
You
your
want me to
ass
go
out
out
there.
into the
No.
other room and start taking calls for you?
Be like how
No.
you started in radio. Answer my calls, rookie. Get my coffee. Did you ever fetch Hacksaw coffee?
I don't remember him drinking a ton of coffee. That was all natural, that hacksaw enthusiasm.
Oh, really?
For the most part, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Club Pilates.
It's those Pilates endorphins that he was getting.
You can tell I've been doing a lot of Pilates lately.
Did have all those Angels players that got waived, claimed yesterday.
All but one.
Which one? Who wasn't claimed?
Grichuk.
Oh, Grichuk wasn't
Grichuk.
claimed. So the Guardians took like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Giolito, a couple of others.
Somebody tweeted the Guardians Angels.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Why did I think of that?
Bizarre, though, because at the trade deadline, remember, the Cleveland Guardians were a game behind the Twins.
Yes.
And they sold off Savali, a couple other pieces, and said, not our year.
Not our year.
And now, to their credit, they're not giving up any prospects or anything. It's just money. I think they added about $2 million in salary to pick up Giolito and a couple of reinforcements. But now they're 5 games behind the Twins.
Right.
And they're going, might as well go for it now. Well, I mean, if you had this attitude a month ago, maybe you'd be in the lead in the division right now instead of 5 games behind.
Just doesn't make sense other than, those, I don't remember the contracts of the guys that they jettisoned out of Cleveland then, so it probably had something to do with it. You get these guys on a severe discount, and I saw somebody tweet yesterday, they're going to give Tito Francona one more shot. It's probably his last year as manager, I would imagine. He's had some health issues, and going to give him really one more shot to go down swinging, Ben. And I honestly, I didn't see any of the moves that really, nothing really blew my hair back. I think the Reds picked up Bader.
And Renfroe.
Yeah,
so they added some offense. I mean, the fringe, they were the teams with the worst record. The Guardians and the Reds had first dibs before teams like, the Giants and the Diamondbacks, who had to wait their turn in the claiming order. So the Padres could have claimed any of these guys beforehand, but obviously, white flag is up because, they're short on pitching, but no reason to add $2 million in payroll.
Yeah.
For a season that's not going anywhere at this point.
Yeah.
So you can tell just by the lack of move that the Padres made yesterday, they know that they're not getting back into it, unfortunately, in this last month.
Yeah, I think that's probably a wise move. I thought that would have felt massively desperate. Again, this is a time to see, maybe what we have down there, if anything, but not the guys that we mentioned earlier. Ben, you talked about not wanting to bring up any of the guys that are really ripping right now for Double-A. Let them rip, man. Let them rip. Let them learn how to win together. Let them bond and learn what it means to win at that level first. It's just not something. It's not something we've seen. I don't think Jackson Merrill. Not that he's not going to move the needle. I'm watching every day anyway, and I think people would tune in if he was up here.
The minor league highlights are the best part of my day right now.
No doubt. Our boy Tommy, who tweets him out every day, I'm like, thank you for doing that, because without you, I probably wouldn't have seen them. They're phenomenal. So I'm loving watching Robbie Snelling carve up guys the other night. You're right. But I'm fine with them staying where they are right now. Go out and win that chip together and learn how to win at that level.
Padre,
and the astute point you brought up earlier that I'm going to hammer home because it was so good. I don't want to bring these kids up for their first taste into this clubhouse right now. There's clearly something wrong. They walk in, they're all excited, and no one says a word to them, like shows them the ropes or anything. Like, it just doesn't look great right now.
Padres did get at least some moderately good news yesterday with Yu Darvish coming back from his visit to the Texas specialist who did his Tommy John surgery. You saying, guy said the UCL looks good.
He's got some bone spurs.
He's got a bone spur, which I guess he's had for a while. Could be causing the inflammation. Might not be. He's not sure. Got a cortisone shot. We'll see how it feels in a few days. You said through his translator, because he was asked, well, why would you come back now?
You.
Why not just shut it down? Be prudent. Be smart. You can rest until next spring training if you needed to. And you, I think, very genuinely said, I'm getting paid a lot of money. I feel a responsibility that if I can come back and pitch, I should come back and pitch. And I thought, you know what? I love that attitude from
great
you,
to
Darvish.
hear. Better not see him again this season.
Yeah. Say it.
It's up to It's up to the Padres now to tell you no. You could feel 100% in a week, and honestly, it doesn't make a lot of sense to bring him back or Joe Musgrove to bring them back at the end of this season, because even if the risk is very low, why risk anything at all?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I guess you have to finish out the season with some arms. You're risking everybody.
You have arms.
When you go and pitch them at all.
Matt Waldron.
Come on down, buddy.
Matt Waldron did a nice job yesterday. Totally lost, but he gave him, 5 1/3 and gave up 1 run on a solo home run that wall scraped, by Yastrzemski. Nice job by Matt Waldron yesterday. No one's going to care, but he's still taking on a big league team that's trying to go to the playoffs, and he did some nice things yesterday.
Absolutely. If you have to find a bright side in it, there are those little tiny nuggets that you can find.
All right, let's go out to the phones. Now I see the lines are lit. Paulie, is there anywhere I should start, or?
We can start right at the top.
All right, Bob, welcome to Ben and Woods on a Friday on 97.3 The Fan.
Hello, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, good morning, guys. Props, number one, for taking Major Garrett's call yesterday.
Oh, it's no-brainer, my friend.
Yeah, because he said everything that I've been thinking. I've been a Padres fan since day one. I'm not quite as old as he is, but close enough. And he was dead on. The only exception yesterday, I was fully on board with shut everybody down, bring these kids up. But you guys are right. There's some kind of virus, toxic something
bad
in that
sushi.
clubhouse.
Juju, yeah, could have had the same sushi as I had last night.
Yeah, do not expose them. So my question here is, what do you do at this point? I mean, my oldest daughter went to the game last night. My youngest daughter last night was like, do I even waste the money tonight? And I'm like, well, I'm not, But the thing is, I'm still freaking addicted to this team. I still listen. I'm still a Padres fan. But what he said yesterday was perfect. That you can still be a fan and still be critical. I mean, that's part of it. If this were Philly and the Phillies were playing like the Padres, oh my gosh, those players would be taking their lives in their own hands, taking the outfield. So
yeah, it's a good
you know,
point. It's a good point you make, and it's funny that you bring that up because I sent Paulie some audio earlier in the show. We were talking about Philly a little bit off the air, and Ben made the good point too of they hated this team in Philadelphia really through the month of September last year. They were spiraling out
12
of
months
control.
ago right now.
12 months
they
ago right
hated
now.
the Phillies.
They were
They
like,
hated the
let's
Phillies.
go to the Eagles, and Castellanos sucks, and Schwarber sucks, and these guys are not pulling their weight, and this is terrible, all these expectations. And they were really, really scuffling. They were kicking balls around like you wouldn't believe. And I thought this was really interesting from Castellanos last night, talking about Trey Turner and his turnaround.
Well, first off, let's put something into perspective, right? Like, Trey Turner signed an 11-year contract to play for Philadelphia. So when Trey's playing his last year here, I'm going to be in the bar with Liam having a drink.
That's his son.
So, you know, he needs to feel comfortable. He needs to feel welcome. I know what that's like. And I think that what that standing ovation does is like, hey, like, we have your back. This is your new home. We want you to succeed. We want you to play well. And, you know, like, baseball is a hard game. Not everybody can play it, especially every day. And every dollar that Trey has signed, he's earned. And he's worth it, right? Like, he hits a ball into the second deck in the left field, and he has 250 stolen bases in his career. So that shows you the talent that he has. Now it's just a matter of him feeling comfortable in a Phillies uniform for it to show every single day.
And I do think Padre fans have done a good job. Sure, man, you can absolutely complain about.
You can replace the name Xander Bogaerts for everything that Nick Castellanos just said about Trey Turner.
Absolutely.
The contract, 11 years, the talent, everything. You can just replace the name, and I think it's just as appropriate.
It is, and I think, you know, everybody on that team has taken their fair share of grief this season for good reason. I mean, hopefully they are giving themselves the same amount of grief that Padre fans are giving them. But I thought it was interesting the way that you've seen this Phillies team really come together and play good baseball. They have a good culture. They have the right guys on the field. They pull for each other. You've never seen a dugout like that. I've never traditionally rooted for anybody from Philly, and they knocked us out last year. I have a really hard time not rooting for those guys. I love Castellanos. I love Schwarber. I love Bryce Harper. I love all those dudes. And I'm watching that going, now that would be fun. I don't know that they have the guns to make it all the way to the end. I don't. In fact, I don't think they do. But you know they're going to leave it out there. You know they will.
I know what everyone's thinking. I mean, does Xander Bogaerts need a standing ovation from Padres fans right now? You know, to get him going. It doesn't feel right at the moment, considering how the Padres are playing, and I'm not advocating for anything like that. Bob though asked the question. Well, what do? You don't really want to call up the prospect, so what do you do? Because there's still a month left of games.
27 games.
For me, the answer to that question, and I have no idea if it would work. I think Bob Melvin has been grasping at some straws lately. But the one thing that you need more than anything else before the start of next season is to try to get your big four on track for next year. And whatever it is to tell, Tatis, Machado, Soto, and Bogaerts, hey, we need to shake you guys up a little bit. Be who you are. Find that player that you were, that captivated, that electrified crowds and fired up teammates and
every one
bombs.
of them. Every one of those guys has done it in their career.
Yes,
every one of them has it in them.
I would if I was Bob Melvin, I would meet with each one of them and challenge them. I want you to be the player of the month here in September in Major League Baseball. I want to.
You're
see,
saying now?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying.
You want them to shut down.
Yeah, and I think what I would do though, and I liked where you were going.
If you do that though, then they're going into an entire offseason.
You know what my challenge is? You four in particular, figure it out. And that means if you got to go
lock him in a room.
If you got to go to Tatis's ranch and work out with Mr. Tatis, whatever it is,
get a week-long vacation to Puerto Vallarta.
Whatever it is that you feel will help you guys. If you have to sit in a room, if you have to go on vacation, if you got to go play golf, if you got to go to the DR and hang with Papa Tatis, whatever it is, you guys, most of you are stuck together, so you got to figure it out. I mean, it is an arranged marriage,
I don't
man.
disagree with that.
It's an arranged marriage with no chance of divorce, really.
All guests on Ben and Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Phone lines are still full.
Keep them here.
Keep taking some calls as we go into the second half of Ben and Woods. Next year on 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back.
Halfway home on a Friday here on Ben and Woods this morning. Was just alerted to a potential flub that I just miss him now.
Oh, I did it. I know I did it. I caught myself, but I did it.
Our friend Pointer Dave tweets in Friday's flubs. Ben had a fresh one. With the doctor said use UCLA looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's UCLA. All right. Okay. It's Paulie.
Unfortunately,
your mission has been handed out.
Unfortunately, Darvish's ligaments moving to the Big Ten.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We originally, welcome in, guys. Thanks for being here. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, our executive producer, director of imaging here. Drunk with power, Paul Reindl. Love it. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor.
Not drunk with no power.
Yeah, true. Powerless. We are here for you. We were originally going to do spiritual mouthwash, which is more of a positive segment. Like, hey, what's going on good in your life? And if you're on the phone lines hanging on, we can do that. Or you can rip the Padres. So those are your options.
It's an either or sort of segment, but we do have full phone lines right now, so might as well keep taking some calls here on a Friday morning. Let's go to Alfredo, south of the border. Good morning, Alfredo. You're on with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
My favorite type of pasta, fettuccine Alfredo. My favorite.
Right. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Am I the fifth caller for the Hassan Kim bobblehead?
No.
Am I too late for that?
Yeah,
no, you're not. Actually, too early for that.
Too
one.
early for
We're
that
still,
one.
It's also Tatis, not Hassan Kim.
Yeah. This is what we are relegated ourselves to. Bobbleheads.
Was he? That was a joke.
I think so.
I think he was just kidding, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course I will.
How you doing, buddy?
No, oh my God. I'm doing good. I'm alive. My kids are healthy.
That's it.
Great.
Yep.
The Padres suck.
Yeah.
It's brutal. I cannot stand the relievers. I don't know what happened to Hader. The things that you were mentioning about getting all four guys in a room or in the ranch, that's a great idea. But the fire from them to support each other, I remember when Manny got drilled in the back, the only one that was almost out of the dugout was Tatis holding out. And you need everybody out there. If the pitchers are going to throw at the ankles or something on the next batter, then you need to have the team out on the on deck ready just to have their back. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just one thing or if it's a myriad of things that they need to do to gel the team together, which is the complete to what the Phillies are doing, or some of the other teams that have their back. And that's been gone from the Padres since since Mexico City's series. I don't know. I don't know what they need to do.
Yeah, it's tough. It feels like there's so many holes in the dam to plug, and that's one I've been talking about all season, certainly. But yeah, I don't know that. I think now might be a little too late, this season. But I do love the idea of figuring out how to make it work. And you don't always have to be best buds. Certainly helps.
Well, maybe you disagree. I don't think it's utter dysfunction in the Padres clubhouse. Bob has said many times, guys like each other. It's not like everybody hates everybody in that Padres clubhouse. But you have to have more than just. I think there's some mutual respect in there as well. But there's something that goes beyond. For a sports team to be successful, it can't simply be, I get along with the guy that I work next to, okay. I don't have a problem with him. He doesn't have a problem with me. You have to develop beyond just, I don't have a problem with that guy. That's not the kind of culture you're trying to create, that I don't have a problem with the guy I work with. It really has to be much more than that. It has to be, I have his back no matter what. He's got my back no matter what. And I know I'm not the biggest culture guy. You're way better on topics when it relates to something like that than I am. But even I recognize that it's not simply I show up, I do my job, don't get in anyone's way, I don't cause trouble. I'd be one of the background guys, and you need background guys in a clubhouse. You can't have 26 leaders who are all giving speeches every single game either. That doesn't work. But you have to have a whole that is bigger than the sum of its parts.
I'll tell you why I ride for Paulie and Ben. When we very first started as a show, I was really under a lot of pressure at home. I had a new baby. He was colicky. He didn't sleep. There was a listener. He was getting under my skin. and it was a really tough time for me, and I snapped, and I got in trouble. I got suspended for a week, and I was so upset. I was so bummed, and Ben and Paul both went to our boss and said, "We got his back, whatever he needs." We absolutely, and it was right.
Disagree with this?
Yeah, I disagree with this, but we have his back, and that's culture. That's what it is.
Well, let me tell you about Woods, because I don't always agree with everything he wants to do, and I'm uncomfortable with some of it clearly.
Whereas I told him, "Whose car are we taking?"
Yeah. I mean, but not the way that I had done things before. But I saw very early on that I saw someone who cared about the product that we were putting out. The product in this case being a radio program. He wanted it to be good. He wanted it to be entertaining. And even though we don't always agree, and I'm sure Padres players don't always agree on the best way to turn the team into a winner, I had 100% certainty that Woods wanted that. He wanted what I wanted. And even though we didn't always agree on the best way to go about it, I knew that's what he wanted, which made me feel like, okay, I can get behind that and support that 100%. Even if we will occasionally disagree on the way to go about it, the more important thing is that we know that we are going to the same place and we want to get there. And sometimes I will do something that I don't want to do, and sometimes Woods will, I think, go along with things that he probably wouldn't have chosen to do on his own if we were doing our own show by ourselves.
Well, that's been the main thing, is we're not in it for ourselves, and that's refreshing as hell when the common goal is a dub. That's the best part, is like, hey guys, it's not personal. We know we're family. It's just, how do we get to the finish line? And that's where it becomes really special. And people always say, your guys' chemistry is remarkable. And I can be having a bad day at home, bad day with the kids, bad day with my wife, and I know I can come in here and it's a safe spot for me. I know that. And because I know these guys have my back. And I don't know that everybody feels that way in the dugout right now. I don't. And it's fairly obvious, when you see it. And I go back and forth, because as much as I want them to fight like hell to the end and prove that they're worth that money and everything else, I am also a realist. And when the ship is sinking, it's really hard to keep paddling. I know that.
I've got another example for you here, and I think this actually applies to team sports like baseball. Take flubs. Ben's flubs. Obviously, I would like to be a successful broadcaster on my own. Guy said the UCL looks good.
UCLA looks good.
Does that make me look like a competent or successful, smart broadcaster when we play my mistakes over and over again?
They're not just yours, by the way.
No,
but yes.
but
avoiding
the majority of them and the funniest ones are mine.
Correct.
Because I'm the one who's trying the hardest,
yes,
I think,
to
be as polished and professional as I can be. So does that advance my own interest? Does that make me look like an MVP? Does that make my numbers look better? No.
To me, yes.
But to me, no, it doesn't.
Who you ask.
Does that help us win as a team, though, to play those back? And I realized early, yeah, do I like reading raps and feeling uncomfortable?
Yeah.
No, I really don't.
Does it work?
Does it entertain people, and does it help us win, in our time slot in the morning and entertain people in the morning? Yes, I acknowledge that it does. And that's what being a team player is about. Sometimes what's good for the team is not necessarily the best for your ego or, your confidence or whatever. And
you got to wear it sometimes.
You got to wear it
You
sometimes.
just have to wear it. It's just very obvious. So I don't know. I do think, again, that arranged marriage scenario, that's exactly what it is. When you're locked in with those guys, and, it's different from Paul. You can leave tomorrow. Ben could leave tomorrow. We are under no, we have a contract. But if you're like, bro, I want to go work for Enterprise Rent-A-Car, I can't stop you. You're like, sorry, dude, you're here.
We were more arranged than most baseball teams.
Yeah, we really were.
I mean, we had no choice in it. We were all put together almost randomly. I mean, I didn't know Paulie. I mean, we were together before you came along, but a few months before that, I barely knew Paul from anyone else.
And worked with you like once or twice a year before that.
Yeah, it's just, he's just a guy. And,
but with these guys, they're here. I mean, they are locked in together, so it behooves them. and it benefits us and the fans and the team to figure out how to get together and become a four-headed monster, and maybe it may end up being a three-headed monster. You don't know. 3 of them are locked in forever, like till we are old and gray. So they need to figure that out.
Let's go to Lee. Lee, this isn't Hacksaw, is it? Lee, you're next up with Ben and Woods on 97
rookie.
Fan.
Hey, you guys, man. I want to talk. I would talk about the Padres, but I'm
over it.
I'm done with them.
There you go.
But can I talk about the Chargers?
Not really. I mean, you'd really have to blow us away.
It's got to be really good.
My finger's on the button here, Lee.
I think I'm the only.
Oh, his phone's cut now. That's a bummer. What a drag.
I don't know that we've taken a single Chargers phone call in the last 4 years.
For real.
Is Lee drunk?
I don't know. I mean, his phone was a little.
His phone was off.
A little off for
I'm gonna
sure.
blame it. Yeah.
I don't really have any takes on the
You should
Chargers
see our
now.
chat right now. Oh my God! Holy crap, dude! Oh my God! No! Oh no! Oh, no LA talk! Oh my God! No Chargers talk! Thank you. Who TF is this guy? Wow! I'm out. I can't do this. I mean, it is unreal. Can I talk about the Chargers? Is not a call I thought we were going to get today.
Spiritual mouthwash.
Yeah. That was wild.
I'm afraid to ever touch the phones.
That was absolutely wild.
Let's go to.
Sorry about that.
Let's go to another. We got another Bob on the line. Bob, can you move us on from the last call?
I think so.
Okay, good.
Your thoughts on Justin Herbert?
No.
No.
Just
not
kidding.
a football guy.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, I got an idea for what the Padres might want to do this offseason.
Okay.
And I don't know if the Players Union will allow this, but if I'm Seidler and maybe Josh Stein, I want to get together with all the trade acquisitions like Troy, Cooper, Rich Hill. He's been on a million teams. These guys came into this when it was already messed up. And I'm going to say, what did you guys see?
Oh, yeah, a little exit interview type situation.
Exactly.
That's a really good idea, and I think can be used.
That's absolutely something that is done.
It's done
in most actually Major League clubhouses at the end of the season. You'll sit down with the manager, GM, and there will be an exit kind of interview at the end of the season, a chance to assess. Usually the coaches will give a player like some thoughts, even if they're leaving as a free agent. Like, hey, it was a pleasure having you on the team. Some things that I think you might be able to work on, to advance your career, and then the player gets an opportunity to give some feedback on the coaching organization, the training staff, whatever he saw during the course of his season as well. So that is something that is generally done in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I that's something that they do. But no, I mean it's a good point you bring up. I'm trying to think. I know Rich Hill's been on about 13 teams, and G-Man Choi was a Ray. I mean, I think you're open to everything at this point. You don't know how those guys are coming back.
I've heard Rich Hill speaking. Now, what you say publicly is sometimes different than what you would say behind closed doors. But Rich Hill has come in, and he sounded like a lifelong Padre because he's come in and said, I am absolutely baffled as to why this team is not better. I mean, I've heard him say that. These guys are talented. I mean, this should be a really good team. I don't know why it's not working.
Like Adam Wainwright say the same thing
Yeah,
this week.
He said they'll win 104 games next year. I'm like, hey, settle down, bud.
One of the biggest problems is
the
that
last thing they need to hear.
These guys who have fresh eyes who are coming in from other places get here and go,
I don't know.
I like what I see. I mean, these guys are talented. I don't know why it's not working. They're as mystified as the rest of us.
But most of the time, it's the guys that come in that are like, I don't know why I can't hit anymore. I mean, Adam Frazier couldn't hit a lick when he got here. So, and Juan Soto is down 100 points career OPS since he got here. And there's something to that. Something is wrong with the ingredients of the sauce, man. The sauce just does not taste like it should. So, yeah, thanks for the calls, guys.
All right, let's take a little break. We'll check traffic. Craig Elsten's going to join us here at the bottom of the hour. He'll have some thoughts as well. And if you do want to keep joining us, 833-288-0973, we can take your calls or your spiritual mouthwash, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with the Chargers right now. I'd rather talk college football.
Yeah, me too.
I actually watched some college football last night.
As did I.
It's a really good catch from the Minnesota Golden Gophers last night.
I can't wait for you to describe the catch live on the radio for our audience.
Coming up next, Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. really weird typo, one of the two. But yeah, I just went to the MLB.com transactions page, and as of yesterday, San Diego Padres signed free agent third baseman Jurickson Profar to a minor league contract.
Has he ever played first or third base?
That's a good question.
Like
He's a super utility guy.
He was left fielder for the most part for the Padres.
I know he played middle infield, second base a lot with the Rangers coming up.
Base.
I don't remember.
Don't know why he's listed as a third baseman. Unless it's another Jurickson Profar we're not aware of. But the one we are aware of was released by the Rockies. I know that on earlier this week, I think on Monday.
You know his middle name is Bartholomew?
Like that.
I mean,
just learned that.
Jurickson's a great name, and so is Bartholomew. I don't know, does that mean that they're going to call him up? Not necessarily. They do have an extra roster spot today. Now, with a minor league deal, he wouldn't be on the 40-man roster, so the Padres would need to clear a spot. Now, they could add one of their pitchers to the 60-day injured list, and that could clear a spot on the 40-man roster if you weren't going to bring one of those guys back.
He's played 89 games at third base.
There you go.
He hasn't played there since 2018. But...
Okay, all right. So... Maybe you're shutting Manny down.
I mean, maybe we're reading too much into the designation. Maybe the MLB transactions page just takes one of the positions you've played and throws one on there because everyone has to be listed as something.
That's not the important part. The important part is how did this sneak under the radar for no one noticed 24 this one.
Hours? Yeah, I had seen no reporting until someone tweeted from this transactions page, but it's absolutely here. So, yeah, I guess he'd be reporting to El Paso at the moment unless they decide to call him up and add him to the 40-man today as one of their
probably needs a few ABs, I would
roster
imagine.
Additions. I mean, he's played a bunch this season. He's not had a very good year.
Been
obviously.
Out for a while, though.
Has he been?
Yeah, they cut him a while back, I think.
No, it was Monday, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, August 27th.
Oh, okay.
I think they released him.
Right.
So I don't know how much he'd been playing before that.
All right.
But he was with the Colorado Rockies and, playing for the most part this season.
He blocked us on Twitter, which is weird.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like all of us?
I think so. Yeah. It was weird. I don't know why. I liked him when he was
here. I
don't
think we ever said anything bad about Jurickson Profar.
Jurickson, if you're listening, I love you.
I love you too. It was weird though. I was like, why did I get blocked by Jurickson Profar? Maybe we were too tough on Tatis. That's his boy. That could have been it.
Don't think we were the toughest on Tatis out there.
Well, we're soft, so.
Well, welcome back to Jurickson Profar, to the San Diego Padres organization.
Okay.
What that means,
nobody knows.
Nobody seems to know, and quite frankly, there's not much it can mean. I mean, he could come and have a phenomenal month, and I don't know what difference it's going to do other than, maybe get some guys off their feet at some point if they did bring him up. Maybe bring a smile to Fernando Tatis Jr.'s face on the last month of the season. Those two always seem to get along quite well when he was a member of the San Diego Padres. So,
interesting.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Usually those things don't slip through the cracks for an entire, 24 hours or so.
It really, really did. Yeah, but it was found on the transaction page. So, Jurickson Profar back in San Diego. Interesting.
Or El Paso, possibly.
Or El Paso, yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe get Juan off his feet, throw him out in left field. Played a really admirable left field for the Padres last year.
He did. Whatever straw that was stirring the drink last year in a better way than it was being stirred this year, Jurickson was part of that.
Sure.
So you can't deny that, he had a pretty decent season and didn't cash in the way he thought when he opted out of his contract in free agency. Pretty much got the same money he would have gotten.
It was hard to say a worse team.
A tiny bit more, but, with the Colorado Rockies, and didn't go as well for him there. But, it's weird because a lot of the things about last year's team, like yesterday's game, and I pointed this out to you earlier, and you didn't move the needle very much with Woods. But we haven't seen a ton of games like last night. The Padres' losses this year have tended to be of the excruciating variety.
It's true.
The one-run losses, the come-from-ahead losses late, just unable to get the big hit in a clutch situation. The games in which they're out of it early and then just lose by 5 or more runs.
6 runs.
They actually had more of them last year than they did this year with a much better record.
Yeah.
In 73 losses last year, the Padres got quote unquote blown out 22 times. This was just the 18th time this year they've lost by 5 or more runs, and a lot of those have been exactly 5. They actually got clobbered more last season than they did this season, which is weird. But that was the difference between that team. They'd flush a bad loss.
They'd flush
and
it.
then they'd come back and they'd win a walk-off and take a series.
That
and,
was it.
You know, it was almost the opposite of this season where, yeah, they'll win a game 12-1, and then they'll follow it up by losing 4 out of 5 really close, tough, excruciating games and dip further and further into the standings. But games like last night,
happened more last year.
Yeah, they actually happened more last year than they did this year. That's not been the problem with this year's team. That they just weren't in it from the very beginning. They looked lifeless. That yesterday, absolutely. That looked like a lifeless team that was never in that game. But I can't say that that's been the problem this year. They've been in games all year long. It's been the lack of clutch hitting at the end and the too many blown bullpen close games and leads in the last innings. That's what's tanked this team. Not, oh yeah, here they're down 7-0 again. No, it's actually been fairly rare this season when that's happened.
Yeah, I mean it didn't blow my hair back just because, you know, the results last year were a little better. This year has been excruciating and a different way. It's really been a different way to consume baseball for me this year. It has not really been enjoyable. The only really big moments this team had came just a couple of weeks ago with stealing of home and a grand slam finally. Things like that, Ben. But yeah, no real walk-off action, no real gut and grit and fighting hard and dotting another guy because they dotted your guy. There's been none of that. There's been just no.
I mean, was there a lot of it last year? I can't honestly say that
there was a lot of fight from this team and
there was plenty of there was come from behind late wins.
I believed that was really the most important. I fought hard for them last year because I believe they were better than their record indicated, and felt like, oh yeah, they're going to be fine, man. Once they get into the postseason, they're going to be fine. I was pretty confident, but this year I have not felt that really at all. Started with opening day, you know, after Blake Snell got beat by German Marquez, and I had a few cocktails, and I was ready to flush the season then. That was a joke, honestly, but turned out to be pretty accurate.
Craig Elsten brought some fire last week. I'd imagine he'll be spicy again today, and will also come with some holiday weekend viewing recommendations on Crossing Stream. So we will get to our buddy Craig Elsten when he joins us in our next segment on Ben & Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, where were you when the second Jurickson Profar era started of Padres baseball? Welcome back. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by California Coast Credit Union. With MasterCard Local, Cal Coast Credit Union members can earn 5% cash back on purchases made with Cal Coast MasterCard credit and debit cards every time they shop at participating businesses. Learn more at calcoastcu.org/shop-local. We need a little infusion this morning on a Friday, and I think Craig Elsten is exactly what we need right now. He'll bring the Jonathan Gannon-like fire this morning to Ben and Woods.
I hope he
on a
does better
Friday.
than that. Hey, what's up? You guys take the bus in?
Good morning, guys.
Do our crossing stream segment with Craig right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Vicki Pepper.
This report brought to you by the all-new Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad. 5 North at Civic Center, a crash has you stop from the 54. Brought to you by Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad. With all-new 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Package trucks, $4,000 off MSRP. Over 15 in stock to choose from. Stop in or shop online at carlsbadbuickgmc.com, a proud member of the Premier Carlsbad family of dealers. I'm Vicki Pepper, in for Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's go out to our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline, joined by our friend from the San Diego Sockers, the Padres Hot Tub Podcast, and our Crossing Streams guru every single week, Craig Elsten, with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, gentlemen. A pleasure to be with you as always.
Good to be with you, my friend. Did you hear the big breaking news? Jurickson Profar back in Padres brown and gold.
Oh, well, now the 20-game winning streak can commence.
Absolutely.
Before that, we were screwed. Now we're good.
Yes. Don't know how to feel about it. Don't know. It doesn't move the needle for me very much, Craig.
I mean,
Why did they do it?
If they were doing it to move the needle, you think they would have told someone?
Yeah, you think they would have announced the big move. Damn it!
They haven't. I mean, you had to search at the bottom of a MLB transactions page in the fine print to actually see that it happened yesterday.
Tried to sneak the cheese by the rat, didn't they?
They did not tell anybody about it, so obviously it's not something that they are trumpeting from the top of the mountain that they have re-signed Jurickson Profar to a minor league deal.
Interesting.
Maybe he was the vibes that we've been missing all year. Maybe he kept Tatis whole and sane, and Ha-Sung Kim even happier because obviously Kim's played so poorly without him. Profar this year. So, look, does AAA need an outfielder? He's probably still got some good vibes in terms of the front office and you know, has that radiant smile. Jurickson Profar is not good. He wasn't good this year at all. And enough about Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, that's plenty. That's plenty.
He fits in perfectly.
He's a perfect fit here.
Unbelievable.
You had something. Paulie sent it to us and said, this is what Craig wants to talk about tomorrow. And I said, man, I am all in on this. Why don't you fire away and let everybody know what you've been working on?
All right. Well, I've got like a couple of specific, because I know we've always got this tight Padres window. Like I've got a couple of pieces of content I'd like to present, courtesy of Padres Hot Tub and what we've been cooking up. So this team is playing its worst baseball of the year, and we know that. And I thought that Major Garrett's appearance earlier this week on the show was really a dart in the bullseye.
Yeah.
You know, just absolutely center bullseye, perfectly cut. And the part of it I wanted to underline first is that, and I'm now speaking not as Hot Tub, I'm speaking as a season ticket holder. Okay, a 3-year season ticket holder, full season package of the Padres. I've got 2 weeks to renew my tickets, or more specifically, 2 weeks to not renew my tickets. Otherwise, they auto renew. I'd like to hear from Peter Seidler directly now, tomorrow, today, Monday.
Great idea.
Because July 1st and his pie in the sky interview with AC, that's a long time ago. And a lot has happened since. And above all, as a Padres fan, I want to know that this organization is taking this more seriously than we are as pundits and as fans. And to just throw up your hands and say, oh gosh, I guess we were just real unlucky this year, but we've got the team. We just don't know what happened. We have no idea why it all went wrong. Well, then you're out of your depth if you don't know why it went wrong. If you don't know why you historically, year after year, as an organization, aren't quite on the money, then you need fresh minds that'll have an idea about what went wrong. The first thing I want is not to be gaslit. This has been a bad season, and I want the Padres to stop telling me that it was a series of unfortunate events like you stubbed your toe. Like, no, this has been a bad season, and what he said about a top to bottom reassessment, I want to hear that from the very top. I want to hear it from Seidler instead of more mealy mouth stuff. So that's thing number one, reaction.
Well, total transparency, first of all. Peter Seidler knows he has a standing invitation to come on with us anytime he wants, not just on Fridays.
Bro, we will carve out 2 hours.
And we've been told that he is not available yet. He's been busy. You know, we've had a couple of conversations about it. It's supposed to happen by now. It hasn't happened yet. My personal theory, just from talking to Peter, and
it's a good one.
And I don't think this is necessarily a knock on him, but we know Peter Seidler values consistency. He has said it many times. And quite frankly, in sports, it's a rare commodity and usually a good thing. But in this moment, it's not a good thing. And if he did come on and said, I know it's not what you want to hear, but I really believe that we need to stay as consistent as possible. We'll try to figure things out, but I'm not planning on making any big personnel changes. We're not changing the general manager or the manager. He's just going to make people more angry, not less angry, if he came on and did that right now. So maybe he's choosing to wait until the season is over, if that really is what he is going to say. And there's a chance that that is what he is deciding on, because that would fit with what we know about the personality of Peter Seidler. Maybe he's making the wise decision not to just add to the flames of anger right now about his baseball team.
Well, it just makes me a whole lot less excited about re-upping at $600 more than last year to have my season tickets for just like, hey, we're just going to try again, because that doesn't sound very exciting to me. And this is what I'd like to use to bolster that argument, guys. Padres Hot Tub is our main podcast, but we have a second podcast we've done all year called Pods Above Replacement, which is all analytics and analytics research on the Padres. It's tremendous. Rafi Cantor and John Percoda are the hosts, and John put some research in our Padres Hot Tub Discord this week that I just thought was about the most damning thing that I've seen. Here's one that I know you guys know, right? Since AJ Preller has been general manager of the Padres, how many times have the Padres outperformed their Vegas win-loss prediction?
What?
The answer is never. They've gone under every single time.
Well, in 2020, in a full season, I'm sure they outperformed it in 2020.
I'm not even.
Yeah.
You could go look it up. Maybe in 20. But
they won like over 60% of the
count.
games. It was kind of
and
crazy.
we all know
that
that 2020 doesn't count.
No,
correct.
I'm talking to you, Dodgers fans.
Right.
We all know that 2020 never counted. Okay. This is from John Percoda. I'm literally stealing his information, but it's valid. So in addition to Vegas win-loss projections, you know that every year FanGraphs does projections, not only for the teams, but for each individual player's F-WAR, right? Where they predict that the player will land in terms of their F-WAR production for the year. Since 2016, this is not Dodger loving. This is facts, okay? Since 2016, the Dodgers have outperformed their FanGraphs projections by 58.2 wins. In that same time, the Padres have underperformed their FanGraphs projections by 39.9 wins.
Wow.
That's a 98 win difference. It's not wins on the scoreboard. That's what players were expected to do versus what players actually did. You can give the Padres and the Dodgers the same basket to make the same meal, chopped style, and the Dodgers are making a better meal than the Padres every single time. In that time, the Padres have outperformed their FanGraphs projection twice. 2017 and 2020. Okay. The Dodgers only underperformed their Fangraph projection ever 2 years, 2016, 2018, both those times by 2 games apiece. By contrast, the last several years, we're going to miss our Fangraphs projection by over 15 wins this year. It was the same in 2021. So add it up, and in the last 4 years, they're 12 games over and we're 10 games under our projections coming in every year. Why are we getting less out of our team every year than projected? Why are they getting more out of their team every year than projected? That's not luck, guys. That is years of data that show that the Padres are behind the curve when it comes to getting the juice for the squeeze.
By the way, that's mathematical. Fangraphs, that's the mathematical prediction of where the Padres should be given the talent on their roster, the production that's expected. That's not fan expectations like, oh, they came up short of what I expected them to be. You can expect whatever you want. This is simply what the hard data is saying, and essentially what we've determined, and this makes a lot of sense. AJ Preller is great at assembling pieces to put together a very high projection for his team every single year. He's good at acquiring talented players and throwing them on the field. Making a team that ends up even equal to the sum of its parts, though, is something that has eluded him, and it is something the Dodgers have done very well. They always seem to exceed the sum of their parts. The Padres, while they have really good parts, they can't even get to the total of the sum of their parts.
That's correct. And now I'm going to move, because this has all been bad news. I'm going to move to something that sounds like bad news, but I think is good news. And this is the last bit. The CBA changed in some really significant ways coming into this season. And some of those ways we're just starting to interact with now. One of them, are you guys aware that because the Padres are above the second apron of the luxury tax threshold, their draft pick gets kicked down 10 slots?
Yes.
Right? So if they finish 15th, they'll draft 25th. However, you NBA fans out there are very familiar with the concept of late season tanking for a protected pick.
Yep.
The Mavericks did this year. They traded for Kyrie. They thought they were in it, and then they weren't, and they went all out because they had a top 10 protected pick. In this CBA, in this new CBA, the Padres would keep their pick if and only if it's in the top 6. But guess what, guys? It's a much closer race to the bottom than it is a race to the top for the Padres to get into that top 6 area where they would get to keep an elite draft pick in this upcoming next year's draft. And am I saying the Padres should tank? The big question you'd have to ask back is, how would you tell the difference? But nonetheless, the losing act, like, can we make something of this season? Can we please be bad enough?
That's the best that we can do.
Pick third?
Yeah, that's the best we can do. And that sucks. That's not where I thought we'd be talking about on September 1st at all. Not even close. I thought we'd be like, should we be resting guys right now because we're so far ahead?
Right.
And, hey, how do we keep them hot and healthy?
Let's do this, Craig. Why don't you give a Crossing Streams recommendation for all the Padres players that they can just sit back and just enjoy some streaming television while their record continues to tank into the bottom 6 in the league the rest of the year?
Absolutely. This is a big-time wreck for everybody in the listening audience. And I know, Paulie, you've watched this. I hope you guys will, too.
It was
a
riveting.
new documentary film on Max, HBO Max, called BS High. And this is a story that if you don't know it, it's truly going to blow your mind. How one man was able to create, literally out of paperwork, a fake school. A completely fake school, Bishop Sycamore High School, which literally did not exist. It was a bunch of kids that were being put up in hotels with this man, Roy Johnson, not paying the bills. Okay. They wound up playing IMG Academy on ESPN in a game that they lost 58-0 and had multiple players injured, like dropping like flies. And it was so bad that it exposed this man's con. But the man at the center of it all is in the center of the documentary. He sat down for every inch and every quote and every look into the camera. It is a fascinating, horrifying story of the absolute corruption of high school sports and the utilization of the paperwork to create a quote unquote charter school that enabled a lot of young kids to have their dreams destroyed by a con man in search of glory and profit for himself. It's an 1.5-hour documentary, BS High, standing for Bishop Sycamore High. Cannot recommend it any more highly. Incredible stuff and a ridiculous story.
But also a double entendre of BSI, not just Bishop Sycamore.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Bull ass. Horse pucky.
Horse pucky.
Horse pucky.
There is such a seedy underbelly. There's some great things about high school sports, even the club sports that get constantly knocked. There's some good coaches and some really good developers who care about kids. So there's such a seedy underbelly to it as well.
Craig made the point that the guy behind it is throughout the documentary, like, no remorse.
None.
None.
Oh,
I mean, they're showing him videos on the iPads of interviews that the kids did where they're crying their eyes out. Like, how could you do this to kids? And he's just like, guess what? I'm going to do it again.
Oh, my God. Yeah, life sucks. Get a helmet. I've had some really interesting conversations with parents recently about, the whole travel ball phenomenon and everything else. And it's almost, it's overwhelming. I mean, it's massively overwhelming. This is a different level entirely. But, yeah, I'm on it this weekend, Craig. I've been meaning to watch that. Paulie recommended it, too. So we'll get on it. We'll report back next week, certainly.
Outstanding, guys.
Great stuff,
looking
buddy.
forward to it. And appreciate you all. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, have a great Labor Day weekend. That's Craig Elsten on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Thank you very much to Joey in the chat. He says, Ben is quite astute. You've said that today as well.
You are astute.
I'm astute.
You've made some very astute.
I like to be astute.
Yes.
I like to feel occasionally like I can observe something that other people may have missed.
Yeah.
It's something I go for on this show. I don't always succeed.
Karen says that guy is a sociopath. Is she talking about Craig?
I
No,
hope
I
it's
think she's talking
I
about
think
the
it's
guy
the high
from-
school coach, not Craig.
Yeah,
or Ben.
I think she is. Karen's good people.
Maybe it's me. You've called me a sociopath before.
If the
once
shoe
or twice.
fits, buddy.
Once or twice. Depends on what day of the week you're getting me.
Emotionless.
All right, we got 1 hour to go. Let's try to have some fun before we finish. Paulie's got some Reindl Report. Taco Bell ice cream next on 97.3 The Fan. Our last hour is jam-packed with excitement, giveaways, potentially some flubs.
Yeah, the vibes are good here on Ben and Woods.
Yeah, vibes have been great in this room. Big dinner out this week. This week was great.
I don't know. We did have that one caller who wanted to talk Chargers.
We did.
I felt like grinded everything to a halt.
Slightly.
The radio gods smiled upon us because his phone cut out.
Fortunately, just in time. Actually.
I've heard. Let's put it this way. I've heard worse calls this week.
Thought we weren't going to bring that up.
I just said I've heard worse calls.
All right, stay tuned. Your chance to win a Fernando Tatis Jr. bobblehead giveaway coming up. And we got a late addition to the prize packages as well. I'll let Paulie explain that, though, in today's Reindl
Report. A late
addition.
Jerks and Profar?
Why, yeah, exactly. Why don't we just get to it right now?
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
Miss the carving guy days. Those were fun days.
One of my master controls here. I'm able to see all the comments from every platform that we're on.
Are you kidding
throughout
me?
the morning, not just
What are the Twitch
YouTube.
comments looking like today?
Is
on our
anyone
first
watching
day
on Twitch?
Yeah, we got people watching on Twitch.
Hi,
the
Twitchers.
vibes are immaculate.
Wow.
Vibes good on Twitch. So I wanted to give some love to Twitch, including my sister-in-law who's watching because she was the first comment.
Will you explain? Do I need to download an app?
It's called Twitch.
Okay, that's the app.
Yeah.
All right. So
No, we mentioned it like really early in the show. I wanted to bring that back.
I have another app.
We have a million different ways now that you can consume the Ben and Woods product. 97.3 FM, the Odyssey app, anywhere you get your podcasts, YouTube, and now Twitch.
Okay, Twitch.
So shout out to all of y'all.
I feel like it's just another place where people can be mean.
Yeah, probably. Probably. No, Odyssey has a really cool partnership with Twitch where you can check in on every market that has the video stream going, and you can pop in on 670 The Score in Chicago or WIP in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's
and
killer.
now 97.3 The Fan on Twitch in
Yeah,
San Diego.
I had always thought Twitch was a place where like my kids chat with their video game.
It's primarily a video game
players that they
console,
play
yeah.
with like in different parts of the country and trying to beat whatever level they're on. But apparently we use it now in radio as well.
I love it.
Wherever and whenever. All right, boys, let's start. How about I got a couple of college football stories here before we talk about Taco Bell ice cream. So week 1 is officially underway. We talked about it briefly. What was the final score? 24-11, Utah over Florida last night.
Yeah. There was a moment in that game. So Utah is at home, and they've got the lead, and they're driving in the second quarter, and Florida needs a stop. They're, like, reeling, and they finally get one. They force them to punt. They punt, and the flag comes out. I've never seen this before in any level. Florida got penalized and gave up a first down because they had 2 number 3s on the field at the same time.
Like the number 3
both,
on their jersey.
Both players were wearing the number 3.
Seems like an
at
oversight.
the same time. Now, I know college football teams, since they have like 110 players, there's not enough numbers to go around. So there are some duplicates.
Should use letters.
Roman numerals.
But
B.
Usually they give the duplicates to guys who have no hope of getting onto the field. So someone, I mean, that's a huge oversight by the equipment manager that you give 2 numbers to guys who could potentially be on the same special teams unit at the same time. And they lost. They gave it the first down. Utah went and ended up scoring a touchdown. I don't know that it decided the game, but it was a huge penalty.
That is fantastic. Letters is a good idea. C, P. Maybe I'll get a number next year. For now, I'm R. R! Get your head out of your ass! Sorry, Coach. Probably because I'm wearing a letter instead of a number.
22, 27. Get over here.
L.
You too.
So good.
So week 1 continues. You know, you get the Thursday night games, you get a few Friday night games, and then of course you have a full slate tomorrow all throughout the day. I'm looking at the schedule tonight. You got Stanford and Hawaii at 8 o'clock. I think the biggest game would probably be at 4 p.m. on ACC Network. Miami versus Miami.
I'll talk about the same name on the uniform.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're all going to say
won't get
Miami
confusing.
out there.
Yeah,
Miami of Ohio.
The
Miami,
U
yeah.
taking on Miami, Ohio.
You. Are they going to be good this year? Because I feel like they're like the Irish. Every year they're like...
Well, they're favored by 16.5 to Miami, Ohio.
All right.
Of course, San Diego State and Idaho State tomorrow at Snapdragon Stadium. And in just a few minutes, we'll have a pair of tickets to give away to
Is
that
that
game.
right? Look
yes.
at that.
Pair of tickets, San Diego State, Idaho State, Snapdragon Stadium. And that brings me to my next story. Speaking of the ACC, you can watch that Miami game on ACC Network. You're also going to be able to watch ACC football games soon in movie theaters.
Okay.
ESPN and Theater Sports Network reached an agreement that will have 75-ish football games shown throughout the season in movie theaters across the country, including New Year's Six bowl games and the College Football National Playoff game, in addition to all those ACC games.
You know what was not on my bingo card was watching Cal take on Stanford in an ACC game in a movie theater.
That's your local Regal or AMC.
That is now an absolute reality after those two teams joined the ACC today, and now their games can be shown at the movie theater.
It's pretty wild, man.
You know what? Would you not go, like, if it was a big sporting event, you could go to, like, a Cinepolis and, have the lounge chairs and everyone bring you with the big screen, and you wouldn't want to watch a Padres game that way?
By myself.
But not with other people.
No.
Tier
In the
1
dark?
viewing party in, like, a movie theater for
Playoff
big games.
house. That's what I want. I want playoff house.
I saw an announcement yesterday. Taylor Swift has had documentary crews throughout her tour.
Smart.
Got a movie coming out in October.
Very smart.
And it's experience the concert. If you didn't get to go, you can go to a movie theater. And she's like encouraging.
Is this
her
the Eras
fans.
tour?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? I kept seeing people tweeting about that, and I didn't know what they meant. I thought it was like some new golf tour.
You've seen the chaos. It was like getting Super Bowl tickets, and people went all out with the dress up, the costumes, the bracelets, the singing, the dancing, the yelling, all of that. She said, bring that to the movie theaters. So you could be going on a date night to go watch something else in Theater 1. And in Theater 2, you're going to have a couple of hundred like dancing in the aisle, just screaming along. I'm like, I see the idea. I can get behind the idea. I'd be real bummed if I was in one of the other theaters.
I don't like to watch sports really in public. I really don't. I don't like going to a bar to watch games most of the time.
I like going to a bar on like a Saturday when there's just college football on and checking in.
I like a sports book. That's fun. That's a fun day to sit around.
I couldn't watch like a Padres playoff game. Don't have to worry about it this year. But I couldn't handle that in a bar or a sports
you're right.
book.
That would be
playoff house.
I need to be in my house.
Too stressful.
It's happening next year.
Yeah, I'll do the playoff house.
Playoff house will be amazing content. Amazing.
All right, and finally, Taco Bell ice cream.
Really?
Now that sounds problematic just on its face. I'm trying to think of the different flavors of Taco Bell, and
Mexican pizza.
You're already on the wrong track.
Mild sauce flavored ice cream.
Bean and cheese flavored ice cream.
Taco seasoning.
Don't do this.
Queso ice cream. No, you're already on the wrong track. Let's see if I can sell you. This all started yesterday at one restaurant here in Southern California. Taco Bell's trying it out, and they're going to expand if it's successful. They've teamed up with Mountain Dew. Of course, if you go to Taco Bell at all, you know Baja Blast. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe Baja
I'm not
Blast.
familiar with the flavor of Baja Blast.
It's so good.
What does it taste like?
I don't know. Let's see. Baja Blast. Mountain Dew. See if they can give us a
I mean, if
description
it's
here.
supposed to taste like, I don't know, like mango pineapple, just say mango
It's a
pineapple.
Summer classic.
Don't invent a
natural
name for it.
flavor, Lime. I don't really know how best to describe it.
It's
I really
just
don't.
good.
It's just good.
You do feel like it takes the
And you really only I only see it at Taco Bell.
takes like you do feel like it strips your teeth of like it's varnish, but it's really good. Like,
Jed
they're
in chat
really,
says
really good.
Baja Blast is Mountain Dew with blue Powerade. I promise.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that.
So
What does Mountain Dew taste
Oh,
like?
delicious is what
I
it tastes
also-
I mean,
like.
I know what it tastes like, but what is it
Right.
supposed to taste like?
I don't
Is it
know.
lemon lime?
It
Is
tastes like Mountain Dew.
Because it's not the same as like
It's not
Sprite.
a cola.
It's different.
Somebody says blue raspberry pineapple.
That's Baja Blast.
So good.
Get on board with that. So yeah,
Where do blue
There's
raspberries
no such thing
exist,
as a
by
blue
the way?
raspberry, first of
Aren't those
all.
called blueberries?
That's
or
a totally different flavor.
Let's go to our expert on berries, Ben
There are-
Higgins. Ben
there
from
are
Ben.
no blue
This is Ben
raspberries.
from Ben's Berries. Guy eats more berries than anybody alive.
Don't know what a blue raspberry is. That is not a thing that exists. in
raspberries
nature.
are red.
But it's a flavor that they always say. It's
yeah,
blue
it's a
raspberry.
Slurpee flavor, but it's not a real thing. It's something some marketing executive invented.
How about the red blueberry?
Why don't they do that? Yeah. If blue raspberry is so popular, why is red blueberry not a thing?
I don't know. But Taco Bell teamed up with Mountain Dew, and they've created Mountain Dew Baja Blast Gelato.
I'm all in.
Gelato.
All in.
Like I said, they're testing it out at one
Fancy.
restaurant. I don't have the actual location. Oh, it's in Irvine. It's in Irvine. So one Southern California Taco Bell is going to try it out. It's $2.99 for a little 4-ounce to-go container, and it's going to run for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And if it's a success, they will expand.
Sounds fantastic.
I know. I mean, it sounds
really
a little.
actually
It
sounds
sounds a little
delicious.
fancy gelato for Taco Bell. I know they have those Taco Bell cantinas now, like in Las
Oh,
Vegas.
yeah. Love Taco Bell
I
Cantina.
don't know. Remember, like Jack in the Box tried to get all fancy, and they did like the JBX locations. I went to one once.
Is that like an adult?
Yeah,
Adults
no,
only?
they did like an
JBX.
upscale. It failed. It
You
failed
come in
miserably.
nude.
Yeah, they had the JBX grill.
Dancers.
No, you just go in, and it was more of like a sit
You are
down.
kidding.
Jack.
I've never heard of this.
I
San Diego,
remember-
you know that this exists. They had them here in San Diego. They were
JBX.
JBX.
Yeah. People in the chat say,
and they
yeah.
were. It was like an upgraded
I don't remember that at all.
Jack in the Box experience.
Let's just make our food better. And then we don't need a separate entity.
That's not why people go to fast food restaurants.
I've been to Taco Bell Cantina. I've been to the one in Vegas. They do like weddings there, like Vegas style. You can get a package and do all that. And then I remember 7-Eleven tried to do like upscale 2-story 7-Eleven.
Fancy 7-Eleven.
I don't remember JBX.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I would've
one in
tried it.
Hillcrest. Robert says he went to the one in. I absolutely went to the one in Hillcrest. At
And
least,
what did you get? What did they have?
I mean, it was still the Jack. It was still the Jack in the Box kind of menu for the most part.
Like a jumbo jack.
Yeah, but they just kind of fancied
They
it up.
just called it a
little bit.
Royale with cheese instead. You fell for it.
I mean, you had to try it, I guess.
Yeah, wife girl says I remember JBX. It's because Jack in the Box is headquarters
Here,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
So
sure.
they do their
And-
experiments here.
Oddly enough, Taco Bell headquarters in Irvine.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right, Taco Bell ice cream coming soon.
Gelato.
Gelato, sorry.
Get it right. It's gelato.
So we were just
Oh,
talking
God, I
about
love
college
gelato.
football. Impromptu giveaway here, right, Paulie? We got 2
Yeah, let's
tickets
do
for
it.
tomorrow's.
Pair of tickets. San Diego State,
Nice.
Idaho State tomorrow at Old Snapdragon.
7:30. It's a late one. Cool giveaway. First 10,000 fans. I saw this beach towel. It's that cool Aztec helmet, like with the intricate designs, but in the form of a beach towel. It's actually very cool looking. So if you win, you can go and claim your beach towel if you get there early enough. 833-288-0973. Let's take the fourth caller. 833-288-0973. You can win some tickets to head down to Snapdragon Stadium tomorrow night for what should be a fair. I think they're favored by like 37.5 points.
Oh, wow.
It's a not good FCS school, Idaho State. This
Well,
is cream puff.
That
view.
means you have to score.
I don't know that they'll cover, but they should win quite easily tomorrow. It's one of those bye cream puff games that, Alabama will play like San Diego State.
Right.
San Diego State will play like an Idaho
Idaho
State.
State, got it.
To get the game like this. So it should be 2-0 fairly easily tomorrow for the Aztecs.
All right.
All right, good luck. Call in to win. Next segment, we'll also have that Fernando Tatis Jr. bobblehead to give away as well. So,
Do you like giveaways out there?
yeah, I mean, hey, we will bribe you to keep listening to this show right until the last minute of this week on 97.3 The Fan. We'll be back after traffic.
getting some DMs about, what was it? JBX?
JBX. I got the menu. It's definitely was a little more upscale. Pepper Jack burger.
My boy Joey says there was a JBX in Pacific Beach. They had a fireplace, like it was trying to be a coffee shop. I mean, when I'm going to eat fast food, I want to do it under the cover of darkness and in shame. Right. That's how I feel at 48. When I eat fast food at 48 years old, I feel like, oh, cool. You do hate your kids. So you just hate your kids. You don't want to live a long, healthy life, right? Like it's the immediate guilt after I eat it. I'm like, oh, so you are a crap dad.
You just don't care about you.
You just don't care. Yeah, it's amazing. But
it's
it tastes
weird.
So
There's
good sometimes.
There's like a pecking order, like fast food that makes you feel worse and worse. Like I had an In-N-Out burger not that long
delicious.
ago. I don't feel that guilty when I have one.
That's true. We need to be careful, though, in case there's some sponsors. But, no, I know what you're saying.
But, then there's the other ones. I'm not saying they don't Taco Bell for I mean, who doesn't love a good Taco Bell every once in a while?
Once a year.
I feel more guilty when I eat Taco Bell. Even though I may be eating half the calories as I would on, like, my normal dinner. Just the fact that it's Taco Bell makes me feel more guilty about it. I don't know why that is.
You want to know what the walk of shame is? Is leaving a Long John Silver's. That's the walk of shame. That's like that's it. That's it. I mean, it's the worst walk of shame you can ever have to your car. And diarrhea. But you're walking to your car going, what has happened to me? There was such great promise in me. So many people expected things of me, and here I am eating at a Long John Silver's, and I think that's my.
Never been.
If we're going down that road, that's probably it.
I mean, you could go to a nice restaurant, order like a deluxe chicken salad, but it's got like cheese and blue cheese dressing, whatever. And it's like 1,500 calories. And you feel like, oh, no, I did something good for myself. And you could go to Taco Bell and just get like 2 tacos for 400 calories. You'll feel as guilty as anything. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
The bank.
Yeah,
you're like,
it doesn't make any sense.
I beat myself up over it. Actually, I beat myself up over everything, but that one to me is the worst. Long John's. I haven't had it in years. But it used to be a once-a-year tradition. Paulie and I are tradition when we go to Arizona for fantasy camp, which we'll be doing again in January. We spend about $75 at Taco Bell. We expensed it, so thanks Odyssey. But the feast that was upon us was ungodly, and I was like, I haven't had this in a year.
You in particular, you put on a show. I was like, good
I did.
God.
I did. Paulie's right. That's what it was.
I ordered my regular. I looked over like, you're still going. Wow, they're still bringing it out.
In my defense, Paulie was working for March and Ash at the time. Okay? So if you can read between the lines there. But I was like, I need it. I need one of each. And I didn't leave a morsel. Not one more. There was no lettuce shred left behind. I mean, it was crushed. And we got back to our Airbnb. I was like, don't talk to me for like 2 days. I'm in hell right now. It's amazing. I'm looking forward to it in January. We'll be there again.
Was this when I was working and went and had my Ferris wheel of meatballs?
No, this was at fantasy camp.
Oh, this was fantasy camp. This wasn't spring training.
It was after golf, and right before we went to the complex to go check out our lockers.
That's right.
And Woodsy's in the training room just getting worked on.
Yeah, it was horrible.
These are the guys, same trainers that work on
the Padres.
Manny Machado.
They got to work
Fernando
on
Tatis
me.
Jr. And they're rubbing down Woods after Taco Bell.
It was a lot.
Oh, man.
Delicious. I'm ready to go, if you guys are. So, I'm tired. It's been a long week, man. Long week of Padres baseball, to be sure. A very, very long,
Yeah, I mean,
rough week.
I think we started the week feeling like the sweep in Milwaukee was pretty much it, and it's only gotten worse from there. And it's interesting that, what Craig brought up, the smartest thing to do right now for the future of the franchise would be to lose as many games as possible and try to finish in the bottom 6 so you can keep a really high draft pick. And he's right. The Padres are a game and a half out of the bottom 6 in the league. The Detroit Tigers right now are the 6th worst record in the league at 60-74. Padres are 62-73, 1.5 games out of 6th worst in baseball, which, according to the CBA, Padres would get to keep their pick if they finish there. Now, I do not think tanking is something that you should ever be doing in a professional sport.
And I don't feel like it's ever fun to root for because it's just not. I mean, look, okay. If you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, you don't give a rat's ass about this season. You don't. And in fact, you're mad when they win. You are, because the future of your team probably plays football at USC. And that could be potentially a game changer for you. So, and by the way, football season, much easier to root for a tank, Ben. One game a week. You can suck it up one day. Yeah. Sucking it up 7 days a week.
It's 2, maybe 3 days at the most. Yeah. But in baseball,
you're like, oh, like it's a weird thing to be mad when they lose and then be mad, like, oh, but it screws us when we win. It's
plus
terrible.
you can't ever ask a player to give less than their best. Like a pitcher's not going to go out there and torch their ERA just to lose a game. I mean, Blake Snell's trying to win a ERA title, maybe a Cy Young award. So I mean, you can't shut a healthy player down.
I guess it's more just not getting upset when they lose.
That's it. That's
no,
it.
I hate tanking.
But I was still pissed last night. That 6-run inning, I was absolutely furious last night watching that, man.
I do think that the Padres are in a position where if they were aggressive in their conservative, resting of guys.
Sure, yeah, that's one way to do it.
They're so thin in their depth in the organization that the people that they would be replacing those guys with would really not be very good, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And would probably lead to a few extra losses. If they shut down Manny, and that's been suggested, with his elbow issues, that he may be, closing up shop before the end of the season. If you didn't bring back Joe or which looks like, the direction they're heading with the pitchers that they're going to have to throw out there, I mean, there will be a lot of losses the rest of the way, especially these next couple of weeks against playoff contenders. Now, you'd finish against a possibly tanking teams themselves in the Cardinals and the A's and the Rockies, and the White Sox. I mean, you got a lot of bad teams that are actually below you still left in the season that you're going to have to get past. So
yeah, asking players to you'd never ask your players to give less than whatever they could give that day, and nobody's at 100%.
And they don't in football. They don't either. They just they set their teams up for failure.
Sure.
That's what tanking is.
That's what tanking is.
Lack of depth. Resting guys that don't necessarily need the rest.
There
but
is something to be
to
said.
Play worse players.
There is something to be said though, man. For you don't want to be the team too. It's kind of like the guy in fantasy football or baseball that doesn't set his lineup, and you're like, hey, man, now you're messing with the integrity of the league. There's something to be said for that when there are other teams fighting, and you're like, hey, let's try so-and-so at first.
You'll
take
what I mean? A hit. I mean, the Mavericks, as Paulie brought up, they took some PR hits for a couple of weeks, but then it kind of gets forgotten. And,
it does.
And that pick may be in your organization for years and years.
Maybe worth it. Yep.
After the PR stain of the tanking goes away, you're left with a much better asset than you might have had otherwise if you don't lose those games. And
there's no nobility, guys, honestly, at least for me. I don't want to tell you guys how to fan, and there's really no nobility in ripping off 10 wins at the end of the year when they're meaningless. There's no momentum that's going to be carried over into spring training. None whatsoever. A lot of these guys will be here. A lot of these guys won't. There's really, for me,
it's a disappointing season either way. So whether you win 9 in a row now or not, it's not like you haven't been above 500 since May.
Yeah,
early May.
Yep,
and you're not going to get into the wild card hunt this year. So what does it really matter?
It really sucks, though.
It's terrible.
It sucks. People can feel how they want. And there are people out there probably listening, rolling their eyes, saying no. And I'm the guy that wants to see them playing hard, absolutely, but. Like Ben said, set your team up.
The mental mistakes and the errors will always infuriate.
Sure, absolutely.
Especially for a team that was so good for most of the year.
Just if you just look uninspired.
If Pedro Avila or Rich Hill go out there and get
what I just realized, Paulie? You know what I just realized? I don't know how I feel. I don't. Part of me wants to see these guys bleeding at the end of the year because they busted their ass and didn't quit and didn't give up on their huge salaries. They're still getting paid. The other half of me goes, please don't win any more games.
I'm mixed like you are.
I just realized I don't really know what the hell I want. I just know I want this season to be over sooner than later.
You're right. There's nothing to be gained by a 10-game winning streak. There's no nobility in climbing your way to 500 at the end. but there is some shame in just completely quitting
There is.
and not doing anything at the end of the year. So, all right, we'll go into our last segment. First, we're going to give away a Fernando Tatis Jr. bobblehead.
Hey, we can't do this again.
First, we're going to give away a Fernando Tatis Jr. bobblehead. One of the first, 40,000 fans going to pick him up at Tuesday's game against the Phillies on September 5th. Just like a draft pick, a bobblehead is forever.
Well, Adam, if you're listening, can we stretch these giveaways out maybe over the entire week instead of just 9 on the last day?
We've been giving away all week.
I know, but we've had like 5 giveaways today.
Just 3.
4.
All right, people are calling in 833-288-0973.
But we also want your calls.
Well, we'll just wait.
We're gonna come back.
Wait on that. Padres,
we got it.
Padres.com/tickets
I'll
if
just
you
shut
want to
up.
get out to the game and get your bobblehead next week on Tuesday. We'll come back and wrap things up with, we'll tell you what we're going to do when we come back on 97.3 The Fan. Hi, this hour on Ben and Woods brought to you by SCC Johnson Raid. Congratulations to Mark, called in, won the Fernando Tatis Jr. bobblehead. Everybody else, thank you for playing. I'm sorry you did not win today.
Believe we'll have at least one more on Monday. I don't know about Tuesday.
I'm not going to be here on Monday, Paul. So
that is right. I will not be here.
If you
either.
are going to be here on Monday and want to give away a Tatis bobblehead,
I will
be
not.
my guest.
Nope.
But
I have forgotten all week that Labor Day is on
We're
Monday.
going to take the 3-day weekend on this show, and we will be back on Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Will the Padres lose every game? You want to do a $10 bet?
Sure. I'll take they'll win. How many games do we have between now and then?
There will be
Friday
4
night,
games
Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday.
and Monday. They do play on Monday, right? It's not an off day.
Yes, Phillies.
Oh, 1/2 seems like a very low.
I'll take the over on the half.
I know you take the over on the half. I'm wondering whether I should set it at 1.5.
No, it's just set half.
Half. All right. Woodsy takes the
over
on
half
1/2 of a win.
Half of a win, yeah.
For the entire 4-game weekend.
Win one game.
Yep.
That's pathetic. It's pathetic that I even feel like I have a decent chance at winning that
you
one.
do. You absolutely do.
Pathetic. So 3
I'm just
against
counting
the
on a
Giants
Blake Snell
and then 1
win.
against the Phillies on Monday.
I'm counting on a Blake Snell win.
That would be your best opportunity.
When does he throw?
He is throwing tomorrow, I believe.
Okay. That's it.
I know they're going against Alex Cobb, who almost threw a no-hitter in his last start on Sunday. So
Who throws tonight?
Waka against another TBD.
Oh, Gabe Kapler loves the strategy.
They seem to be very effective against the Padres. TBD is doing very well against the Padres lineup this season.
Yeah, he shows. He got good stuff.
All right, we're clearing the lines because for our last segment of the day, as promised in our very first segment of the day, we're going to do some spiritual mouthwash, which is just kind of clear what's been a yucky week for Padres fans. We want to hear from the Tier 1s out there just something good that is happening in or around your life that brings a smile to your face and just spreading some good news. Could be personal, could be just an accomplishment, a milestone, family member, something your kids did, a promotion at work, something that you saw that we thought was great. Spiritual Mouthwash is open to all. All we say is just keep it positive.
Good vibes. That's it.
That's all we're looking for.
Do you have a spiritual mouthwash?
Ooh. I just got invited to play a free round of golf this afternoon.
Look at him.
I mean, what is better than that?
That's true. I'm excited taking Bo to Petco Park on Sunday. Not for the game. My wife is taking him to the game. I'm taking him to see Spoon and Weezer on Sunday. We got the day off on Monday. He loves Spoon, and so do I. And so we're going to do that. And now that I remember Labor Day is on Monday, may stick around for some Weezer too.
Did you know I once saw a Weezer cover band perform?
Geezer.
Yeah, they all
great.
wore like gray beards,
They're
and
great.
they were called Geezer.
They're fantastic. Paulie, about you? Any spiritual mouthwash?
Don't have to work on Monday.
That's really it's a good one.
A lot of you out there have that one, I'm sure.
I think we're locking up staycation birthday plans in 2 weeks.
Paulie's birthday's the 15th?
14th.
14th. My wife is the 15th.
How did I get to be the king of vacation when Paulie does more staycations and vacations? He just crams them into the weekends.
I think it's your timing is what
my
really... your timing is what it is.
I'm not taking any days off that we aren't already off.
You don't take any days off for it, but you actually live the better life.
I miss like 2 shows a year.
Yeah, Paulie is like the Iron Man.
All of my vacations end up because of my schedule and the kids' schedule and the family schedule and TV, like on Monday to Wednesday.
Yeah,
or,
trade deadline,
just weird times.
Yes. Yeah, we know.
All right, let's check traffic and then call in 833-288-0973. Share what's good right now in some spiritual mouthwash with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the premier auto family, here's Vicky Pepper.
This report brought to you by Caltrans, reminding you to avoid the 5 for a faster ride Friday, September 8th. 15 north at El Cajon, watch out for a disabled vehicle in the second lane from the left. I'm Vicky Pepper, in for Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Now, Paulie, you said your staycation, you're planning your staycation. If it doesn't include at least a cursory phone call over to the Margaritaville Hotel, then I think that you really are doing it wrong.
I think we're staying downtown. We're between a couple of different spots.
I'm begging you to stay at the Margarita. I want to know everything about it.
It looked okay. I don't know.
It looks really good.
It actually
and
does.
don't you want to be one of the first people
Not really.
in a hotel? Don't you?
Well, you know that for once you don't have to picture what other people have been doing in your broom or your bed because you're like the first person there.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
That's like the dream, isn't it?
You can be the one to defile it for everyone else.
100%. 100%. Got any calls?
Yeah, let's go out to the phone lines. Let's just pick someone. Caller, you're on the air. Welcome to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Who's this?
It is Bonnie.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I want to say the good spirits. Well, I got an unexpected check from the military. I was been out for 4 years now, and I got a nice little lump sum from the military.
The best.
And I'm ready to use it.
That's the best feeling.
I'm ready to use it.
Found money is the greatest effing thing in the whole world.
Woods told
man.
the story at our celebration dinner this past week of unexpected money. I don't know if you've ever shared that on the air.
I
but
could.
It is really a fantastic story.
It really is. When we were at the old station and we were under contract and we had, a year left on our deal or whatever, but, it's radio. And I just figured when the station went away, we just would walk. And we would get like, hey, man, you're in the middle of the pay period. We'll give you the check to the end of the deal.
And now, legally, we probably could have gotten lawyers involved, but it wouldn't have been worth it.
No, it's not worth it at all. I just didn't. I walked into that meeting, the settlement meeting of, hey, we're going to pay you out, part of your contract and everything else.
That was wild.
I legit thought I was going to be getting a paycheck of like a half a week salary, maybe a week salary. So not much.
A few $100.
A few $100. And they looked at me like all nervous and sad, and they slid over the offer, and they're like, this is the best we can do. And let me tell you something. When I saw the amount, I go, what? Yeah. I go, all right, sure. And I signed it.
No wonder you guys are going out of business.
And they gave me the check, and I ran outside, and I'm like, babe, oh my God. And the best part of it all, we had another gig lined up here, and I was leaving on my honeymoon to Paris and London, and I got a fat-ass check. It was like, we are going. It's Cristal. We're doing Cristal on our honeymoon. Like, we went ham. It was great.
I just told you. Like, I don't get sick often. I don't take days off. Like, I had 400 sick hours. I had all this vacation time. So I got, like, a paycheck. I got my next paycheck. I got all my vacation.
And then your sick
all
days.
my sick days. And I'm already like, this is amazing.
And I don't have to work here anymore.
And then I went to that settlement meeting as well, and I was like, you guys are morons.
So good, dude.
Knowing that we were starting a new job in like a month.
That was the best, the most found. That's the most found money. By the way, that's the biggest check I've ever been handed in my life, and I almost soiled myself. I was dancing in the parking lot like, you idiots, this is great. Oh, it was so good.
That's spiritual mouthwash right there. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Raphael. What's good in your world? Welcome to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
All right. Just want a good vibe is that my son started Little League this week, and
love that.
His goal is to be the next best pitcher for the Padres. So
love it.
Shouldn't take too long.
So we got him started in that. He usually plays red ball every year. So this year he got him into Little League to get his goal set in.
I love it, man. I love that so much.
Next big pitcher for the Padres is going to be Rafael Murillo.
Rafael Murillo.
Can he be ready like next week, possibly?
Yeah.
Make a spot start here before the end of the year.
I love it, man. It's a proud dad right there. I had a proud as hell dad moment the other day when I went to Bo's first soccer practice, and he's not. I've never kicked the ball around with him, and I'm not coaching. Obviously, Hannah's friend Jamie's coaching, and went out to watch him. And let me tell you something, man. He has that thing, the motor. The motor never stopped the whole time. He would go down on offense, and then he would look and realize, oh, crap, they're on a run. He would run back. He made a kick save in front of the goalie. He scored a goal. He ran down. He was so fired up. And I go, oh, yeah, that's it. The competition, the motor, just is so proud. As proud as I could be.
Yeah, you get a little athlete on your hands. No doubt about it.
And like a little competitive dude, and I love that. I'm so proud of him.
He may have a little too much lip to give some of his coaches in the future.
That's the funny thing, though.
He doesn't?
Dude, he is the most coachable kid.
Nice.
And now you get him. The minute he goes over the line, He's like, oh, shut up, Dad. I hate you. You're like, all right, I'll deal with it. But he is so coachable with the coaches. It's great.
Let's get one more in here. We got Steve. You're next up on Spiritual Mouthwash to wrap up a Friday with
Wrap
Ben
us
Woods.
up, buddy.
We have such great vibes for this weekend, guys. First of all, I get to start it by listening to you.
Thank you.
And that makes my week great, as you do every day.
Thank you,
and
buddy.
Second, we have a suite. My family and I have a suite to the Padres game against the Phillies on Labor Day.
Nice.
So all 20 of us will be out there cheering them on, and we're lucky to have a major league team. I don't care how great they do from year to year. I wish them the best, but we are so lucky and blessed to have them and to have you and the coach and the afternoon show to fill an old man's life.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
It's a good
that.
attitude. Don't
take it for granted.
And don't rest your enjoyment on whether they win or lose on Monday.
Yeah.
Just go and have a good time with the family. Enjoy the suite. Enjoy Petco Park, and have a really good time because we can't live and die with our baseball team and their results on the field at the moment.
Being in a suite's a freaking blast.
It
It
is.
always is. From what I remember from the last time I went, I barely remember, but it's a good time. Hope you guys have a really nice Labor Day weekend. You too, and then everybody listening, of course. We're gonna do. Oh, we have a little more time because we're not doing flubs. We're doing Ben's likes.
We're gonna do likes, yeah,
All right, good.
because it felt like
Keep it
that's
positive.
a little
Yeah.
more on the positive
things that you like.
Sign. So here we go. Little things that Ben likes to wrap up the week.
No, 1 second.
Oh, wait,
All
hold
right,
on.
relax.
Polly's
Just
gonna-
relax.
1 second. Where are we at?
While Polly does that, I'll remind her. Never mind.
I like good, juicy, sweet strawberries.
I like a good marching band. I like a good thin pancake.
I like a Nickelback song or two.
I like a barbecue chicken pizza. I really like those seeds. I like a midnight buffet. I kind of like the smell of soft scrub. I like more of a small derriere. I like cake.
I like Ed Sheeran.
I like both a hamburger and a cheeseburger. I like clocks. I like how I've kind of set up my life. I like grasshopper pie.
Oh no, I like it creamy.
I like good, firm banana. I like just looking out at the sea. I like eating. I like moist. I like curry.
I like big butts.
I like fried Brussels sprouts. I like more of a firm filling. I like corn.
I like Nordstrom. I do like musicals.
I like pepperoni. I like nice hotels. I like Nick getting a start today. I like nuts. I like Steph Curry. I like that song.
I like Squirt.
I like sake. I like San Diego State.
I like Straight Up, Paul Abdul.
I like the beef and broccoli. I like to mix it up. I like Science Experiments. I like that song. I like the crispiness of the waffle. I really like cheese. I like the little lunch meat. I like very straight lines. I like cannelloni. I like a well-crafted headline. I like brown sugar. I like maps. I'll say I like Justin Turner.
You like Justin Turner? Wow.
You asked me. You hate Justin Turner. No,
I like
it's
Justin
documented.
Turner.
Yes, I like Justin Turner.
Amazing. We got more time for more calls, too, if you want.
Oh,
Still more.
All right, why
We got
not?
time.
Continue with the mouthwash. Let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy, we haven't even answered the phone yet. Now we've answered the phone, and now, Jeremy, you're on Spiritual Mouthwash with Ben and Woods.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Good morning.
Good, buddy.
Man, all right. First time talking on your show. I talk on the coaches all the time. But you know what? I am the announcer of my son's high school football team. And tonight we got a game. Loving it. Looking forward to it. It's
Which high
great.
school?
My son's a freshman.
What high school?
Foothills Christian High School.
Beautiful.
We play at junior Sayal Field over there.
Awesome. And you're the announcer, like the PA guy?
Yeah, man. I'm the guy. I call
Give
the
us,
plays.
give us
and,
your best introduction. Let's hear it.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of Foothills Christian High School football. Let's give it up for your Knights.
I love
We're
that.
here.
Very good. Very good.
Hey, man.
I got to get my
It ain't
pipes
too
up.
much harder than that. I love it.
I like your enthusiasm. You're very enthusiastic.
That's exactly. Thanks, Jeremy. That's exactly how I got my start. When I was a senior at Torrey Pines High School, I was the PA announcer, and in college at Pomona College, I was the basketball. Actually, every sport, I did the public address announcing. Good
Every
evening,
sport.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Vocal Gymnasium and the Rains Athletic Center on the campus of Pomona College for tonight's SCIAC men's basketball matchup featuring the Poets of Whittier College and your Pomona Pitzer Sage Hens.
Oh, you got it like that.
Yeah, it's that was my thing.
That was your
I was
shtick.
I was the PA announcer.
Okay.
had a couple of different shticks. Like if a guy got fouled
Uh-huh.
and made the basket, foul is called on number 27, Johnny Smith. Jerry Green goes to the line to attempt to complete the three-point play.
Why is this taking so long to do this?
This is how I started. I was
why,
a PA announcer.
Why did we just find out about having you do this?
I kind of sound like that anyway, so I didn't think it was going to be that much of a revelation to people that I can really lean into the PA voice.
Now, I've never missed a Seals game, ever.
Yeah.
I've done every home game. If I am ever sick, I want you to do it and see just how different it is from regular PA.
Yeah, yours is... You sound more pained at the end. You're a shouter.
When I walk out of
glass.
there, I feel like I just got hit by a train. But I cannot wait for Seal season. We have gotten some absolute studs, and we're winning it. We're winning it all.
This is the year.
This is the year.
I know they had a really good year, but a really bad playoff finish last year.
One game, buddy.
That's tough.
Terrible.
One and done.
One and done.
Such a tough thing to win a championship.
So hard to win a ship, man.
Yeah. All right,
Thank you guys.
That is it for the week.
That's it.
We really appreciate all the tier ones. You're amazing as always. Thank you for the spiritual mouthwash. Please have a very safe and enjoyable Labor Day holiday weekend. We will rejoin you on Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. and see if the Padres were able to go over the 1.5 win total that Woodsy has bet on this weekend. For executive producer and imaging director Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Coach John Quintero Braden coming up next right here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.